right. Back at it.
Whoa.
With new mic and everything.
New mic? Two-directional mic?
Two-directional. I have no idea if this is going to sound... If you'll be able to tell based on the recording. But we are, in fact, sitting facing each other.
I know.
But still using the same mic.
It's so cool. It's the future. You're telling me that at some point we would have imagined a place past neckties and mono garage band mics?
I mean, we barely even saw past coat hangers and the t-shirts.
You did that. I jumped to neckties.
That's true.
Because I understood that was stupid.
Truly a visionary. God, that was a while ago. That was a while ago, but it was still this decade.
It was this decade. It was almost this half of the decade.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, here we are talking about the decade in games, our decade in games, our favorite games of the decade. Unlike our top 10s where it was just the games that you played in that time.
Yeah.
We actually did sort of restrict it down to games that came out between the years 2010 and 2019 inclusive.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
Sure. if you say so. I basically just popped over to that playlist and I just kept looking and I put stuff on here and I thought, yeah, that's how I can order it. To be fair, I say we both, but I did come up with 9 tentative honorable mentions. I had 19 in my short list and I was like, oh boy, that might actually be too hard to slim down, but
did it. Here we are.
You found 9 that weren't the 10.
Yeah, I kind of went through the same thing. I was looking through my libraries, seeing the games that I had played, and as I went through and just throwing down the games that I wanted to include, I also just happened to end up with 19, which we did trim down a bit. Obviously, we're gonna have a list of 10.
Or we didn't. In terms of honorable mentions, clearly we're going to be talking about 10 plus. It's a fun number once we get to that point, depending on how much work Calvin wants to do and how much he feels like we're overdoing it. We'll see.
Yeah, that's true. This is kind of a large undertaking. Games of the decade. Why not spend the time to talk about everything that we decided to? We'll get there.
Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you that you're willing to do the due diligence and put in all the work you can just to make sure that we got our 10 games of the 2010s out there.
2010 games.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll kick it off.
Sure.
My number 10 best game of the decade is Titanfall 2.
Oh, it made it!
It made it.
All right.
It was tough picking. I think there is only one sort of online shooter, sort of base FPS game that I included, and it was pretty tough to narrow it down. There's a few that we might end up talking about, and especially based on, what the end of year games lists looked like. I don't know. Titanfall 2 is just very, 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 very solid. It's just good, polished all the way around. Great multiplayer, great single player, lastability through the roof.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. It's been I still recommend it to people. And I
appreciate that.
It's just, I don't know. It's such a solid game. The movement is so good. The single player was just like I don't know. It was like a fun adventure, unlike the Call of Duty campaigns where it does feel like this bigger than the world sort of thing. This one just kind of felt like a fun sci-fi movie,
yeah.
like a Guardians of the Galaxy sort of thing. Just hanging out with your buddy, BT, Robo Man, and going through cool environments. Excellent level design. The two that still stand out to me are obviously Effect and Cause.
Yeah.
The one where you can teleport through time.
Yeah.
And the one where you're in the factory that builds buildings.
Oh, yeah. And then you're just looking up and you're looking at like a cross section of a built house.
Yeah, like what? Where am I? What?
It's like if Frank Lloyd Wright could see this, he'd be like, man, this is what I would do in the future if I had the capability to do it. No, I mean, we'll get there. But yeah, Titanfall 2 it's just wonderful. I mean, and enough, we've just barely gotten into like Advanced Warfare right now, and you know, there's
gotten back into it again. We've played it before.
Yeah. And there's all those moments where you're like, come on. I did what I needed to do. That guy's dead. I've already started reloading. Excuse me. Titanfall 2 has none of those moments. Ever has that happened. I will always say that you understand why you didn't kill that person, why you died. You will understand that. The game is not frustrating in that stupid Call of Duty way. And that is why it is the best Call of Duty that's ever been made.
And the best thing about that is if I can't kill any of the players, I can kill 50 minions.
That's what's great. Yeah, you overdo it on minions, and I don't understand how you do it, but at the same time, I'm just there thinking, how can I evenly level up all of my guns so that they're all at an even level? Like, I went for all the banners.
The banners. Oh my god.
And I have so many that are not easily unlockable. Or I have all the ones that are unlockable almost, except for the fact that you have to be like 100. You have to do 100 regens, which I've done like 35. It's only regens. That's only like 20 days of gameplay into that. But,
that's nothing.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm happy. Titanfall 2, it had that lull in 2018 where I'm like, oh no, only people who are playing are just so good. And it dropped enough that the player base came back. They're just new people, and you kick their teeth in every time, and I love it.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, it's back. I say it's back, and I've uninstalled it.
it'll be back. You know, it'll be back.
Yeah, it'll be back at some point, yeah. Once we get rid of this Advanced Warfare nonsense.
Nah, truly.
All right. Well, my number 10... you guys may have noticed that we forewent a 2019 list.
Yeah. For a handful of reasons.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons. But this is actually a game that personally I have not talked about in detail. I've brought it up a little bit in a year-end list. But, you know, it really didn't reveal itself to me. So my number 10 is Enter the Gungeon.
Oh my god.
A game that has earned so many redactions. It's like, so what? It was number 9 in 2017, 18, one of those years?
Yeah, because you played it once.
Because I played it once and was like, this is really good. I can't wait to buy it and play it. 6 months later, I bought it, and then I played it at least half of a week. I would at least play it a little bit.
Yeah, it was the game that was always there for you.
It was the game that I was just like, you know what? I'm going to get a little farther today. I'm just going to start it up, get into it, give it my best. That's one of the redactions. Proudest platinums and game completions. I platinumed Enter the Gungeon.
God, how long did that take you?
I could not tell you for the life of me. Because you said when you played Enter the Gungeon, it was your number 5 or something, that you put 70 hours in. There's no way. I played it so often.
You put like 700 hours in.
It had to be something like 10 days for a game where you're just jumping around and dodging and shooting people, and it's just a game of incredible moments.
Yeah.
And that's what just keeps you going, is that when you start, it's confusing. And I remember...
It's really hard.
I remember when I got that footage, I didn't have your footage. So I used somebody online, and I watched that video again, and that guy sucked. He was terrible. I'm like, how does this guy keep making these terrible mistakes? Because it's one of those games that's a grower, like with you as a player.
Yeah.
You get better. You understand the guns you should have. You understand that lowercase r is just a mistake.
It seems good. It's really fast.
But once you get Gunslinger, lowercase r is incredible. If you get it fully upgraded, it's great. But its starting form is just like using like one of those guns in Call of Duty where you're like Scorpion Evo from Black Ops 2.
I was gonna say the Mac 11 from Black Ops 1.
I think the Mac 11's a little bit stronger, but the point is that it's just how many bullets can I hit this enemy with and they're fine. Like, come on, how many bullets does it take? It's a 6-round burst gun. I'm putting it all into them, and they're like, it takes 2.5, 3 bursts. I'm like, what?
Lowercase r go,
Yeah. But moments. It's just about those moments, and I know
it's a tense game.
it's really tense when you want to do something specific. Like, for example, one of the last trophies I got was acing Winchester's game 3 times.
Which is like a carnival game.
It's a carnival game where you just shoot a bullet into a shooting gallery.
Yeah, kind of like a maze of walls, and you gotta bounce it or whatever.
And you gotta bounce it, there's his head, and you just gotta shoot those, and they blow up, and then he'll give you a chest based on how well you did. Well, when I started playing that, I noticed that I just wasn't trying hard enough. Where I would hit that shoot button, I would jolt.
Oh no!
It's like a real life trigger thing, where you got a gun and you squeeze the trigger and you're like, oh, I moved a little bit, so you went off target. That would happen when you're above your character and you have 360 radius of vision.
It's a twin stick shooter.
It's a twin stick shooter, and I would do that. And I'd be like, fuck! And that was one of my last trophies. My last trophies were so stupid. Like, one of them is to populate the breach, which means you beat the level 6 boss with somebody, then you immediately start over with another character, and you have to beat it again.
Like back to back?
Yeah, you have to beat the last boss twice in a row. That was not one of my last trophies. I got that maybe in the middle, but I never stole anything, so by the end I gotta steal 10 things, and
how do you even do that? We just don't know.
Gotta go on the Gungeon wiki and look at the things that steal the exact items that allow you to steal from vendors. I'm like, oh.
Even just bringing up the wiki, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, I played it 70 hours, and I feel like I learned maybe 20% of the game.
Yeah.
There was always so many things where you'd be like, did you know about this? Have you done this yet? Have you played against this boss? I'm like, no, I've never seen that boss. I've never even heard of it. What are you talking about?
I said that to you so much because I was just like, well, there's these extra... Have you fought the Bobuloid yet? Come on, you gotta know the Bobuloid. What, you're telling me that you didn't push a water tank into that fireplace, go inside, hit a secret button, then that opens a different room that allows 2 keys, and then you go to that special floor?
I barely figured out how to go into the frog mouth that took 100 coins.
You haven't fought Old King, where after you do the Bobuloid, then you get a crest, and then on the second floor you have to find that one workbench, and then you put the crest on, and it opens a random sarcophagus, and then you walk down those stairs, and then you fight Old King? No. Did you even play the same game as me? That's the thing about the game, is it really is so vast for, I swear, it's a $15, $20 game?
So much content.
And there's so much to do, so many variants, so many goofy things. The things that you would assume just don't work, all of a sudden you're like, oh my god.
This is how it works.
Did you ever get camera?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
what does
this even do? And then you realize...
what, have I got to face Quick Man?
You realize, you can just hurt enemies anywhere in a room. That's it. It's just very little damage, but you're always hurting something as long as you're using it.
Huh.
That's it. It's so cool. There's so many things like that.
Remember when you upgraded the bat?
Oh my god, I'm like, it's over. I got Casey all the way up. What are you going to do? Casey, for the record, is the item that will always get you killed. You always think it's going to function better.
Yeah, it's a baseball bat, and you swing and you can hit the projectiles back, and then you miss and you get hit.
Yeah, that's what happens.
You walk your base.
You think you can walk your base from home to first. Walk your base. Don't leave any poop. The big one that I always talk about, and this was the moment where I realized that this game it honestly blows my mind, is Hero Pig. I know we've talked about Hero Pig before.
Hero Pig.
Where you get a companion. There's companions in the game where there's turtles and they just block and they show up all over the place. There's Pig. He doesn't do anything. You're like, what? What the hell does this do? He just walks around. It's kind of like Junk.
Junk, yeah.
I love Sentient Junk. Sentient Junk is one of my favorite things about that entire game.
I identify with Sentient Junk.
It's just like, I can help if you give me more junk. Pig, he just walks around, and this happened on a turbo run for me, and then, I just died, and I was like, oh, whatever. And every time you die, it puts the reticle right on your body, and then there's a bullet, and you die, and then you go back to
it's like the game over cutscene.
It's the game over cutscene. Well, I remember it went over me, and then it stopped. And I was like, what? And then Pig came in frame, and he took the bullet.
Oh my god. Get down, Mr. President.
And then I kept going. I'm like, wow, that's insane.
Pig, no!
No! And I was like, he was a true hero. And then every time after that, when you get Pig, he's called Hero Pig.
Oh my god.
Because he's Hero Pig. It's what he does.
What a legend.
He saves you. You get all your life back. Enter the Gungeon. I platinumed it. It's really good. I'd recommend it. It's just one of those games where you're like, I don't have a main game to play. This is just my quick. I can play this real quick, get in around, see what I can do. It's that kind of game. And it filled that really well for me in the summer of 2018 until the summer of 2019, where nonstop I kept playing it here and there until I had a platinum.
There you go.
It's a great game. Best of the decade.
Do you recommend? Yeah, it's like every single one of these we're just gonna end with like, try it out.
I think it'd be good. Honestly, it's a very cheap game, and there's no better reason to recommend it than that. It's just low barrier for entry, and just learn how to play.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, number 9 is very different. I thought long and hard about which one of these games I was going to include. Obviously, I could have included a bunch of small indie story-based games, but I didn't really want to, bog down my list. There are all sorts of other types of games that I wanted to include. So my number 9 is The Beginner's Guide. What can we still say about The Beginner's Guide? I mean, we probably talked about it, 4 years ago? 5 years first?
We talked about it. See, this is the real issue, is how long ago was it that we talked about it? How long ago was it that we both played it? Was it that I played it 4 years ago and you played it 5 years ago? I think that's right.
I think so.
That sounds right to me. And how many times did each of us play it? I played it through once.
I played it through once. And that's all. That's all you need. I still think about it a lot. I watch every once in a while. I'll see somebody do maybe an editorial video on it, and I'm really interested to see the added perspective that they had. And I don't know. I think of all the games that could have gone into this slot, I don't know. Something about The Beginner's Guide. Something about it. Maybe because it feels the most meta out of all of them. Because it's a game about playing somebody's games.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. There are just enough moments where you think you know what's going on. You have a very solid foundation of where you think this story is headed. And God, even right now I'm just thinking about, the big twist, and I'm like, I don't know. It just kind of leaves you speechless, and you're like, wow, I really got to process this, and I have to rethink how I was interpreting all of the things up to this point. It's a great sort of assessment on, I guess, at least in part, death of the author, and just the intent that somebody can ascribe to something, and just what it means, why it matters to talk about what things mean, why it's important to have discussions, and just sort of the things that you can express given very little. I don't know. There's really not much to say. It's a short game. It took an hour or two.
Yeah.
And it sticks with you. It sticks with you for a while. That's really all I have to say.
I've thought about it on occasion, which is amazing to me. It was 2 hours 5 years ago.
Yeah.
What sticks with you like that?
Mm-hmm.
We have some parallels in our number 9s, I just realized, and it's pretty funny.
Insane. Go ahead. That's really all I have to say. Beginner's Guide.
Yeah.
Very short, very simple.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
Is what I'm gonna say.
There are a lot of discussions that you can have about it, and I think all of them are very interesting to me.
Yeah. the discourse on it is so rich that, you know, it
Yeah.
just goes past the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you sit there for one sitting and get the game done, and that's it. It's not like you think of alternate objectives to do or something else that you could do. It's art on its own.
It's very focused. It has
Yeah.
its vision, and then it presents it, and then you have your vision.
Yeah, it's perfect. I agree.
I'm glad that both. Well, I guess I'm interested to hear what your number 9 is.
Yeah.
I guess I'm already excited that they both landed in this position.
Yeah, I find that interesting too. Unfortunately, I do not have the hindsight of like a heavy amount of time that I would think about a game of this sort, and I'd continue to think about it. But my number 9 that I'm still thinking about from last year is Doki Doki Literature Club.
No way. Insane. I mean, fair.
It's fucking Doki Doki Literature Club, man. That's so. You might remember that in 2017. You know, I watched these videos just around the corner. It's perfect.
Oh, perfect.
In 17,
you got a nice refresher.
Calvin makes this number 9. He's like, I think you should play it. Pretty vague. And it was weird because then 2 years later I thought, yeah, you know what? He said it was free. It's on Steam. Fuck, I'm not some needle bitch. This is gonna be fine. I don't care about warnings or whatever.
How psychologically horrific could it be?
Yeah. I don't play horror games, but I mean, what? And then it's Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
mean,
what
if
happens.
you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I'm gonna keep this spoiler free, baby. I think that if you've gone this far, maybe in the future we'd be willing to talk about it. But I would say right now, the points I wanted to make were number 1, music, phenomenal.
Great, very.
I love the music.
Catchy, very simple.
I had the music on vinyl. That's how much I like the music. I thought this was worth it to go on I Am 8-Bit. If there's anything I could ever recommend to any vinyl listener out there, I Am 8-Bit does carry some vinyls for specific video games. I own 3 of them.
I'm trying to remember if that's where I got my vinyls, because I got
probably the game that's coming up later that you will talk about. Probably on there. But no, like that's just one of those sites where it works. Like I have another vinyl from a game that's going to come up later. But number 1, music's really good. Number 2, I'm going to say if you're on the borderline thinking, I don't know about psychological horror, I'd say do it.
Yeah, because it's not. I don't know. It's hard to say. I obviously don't like horror. I don't like being scared. I don't like being that sort of uncomfortable. But it's something different because it's not like the same sort of like, you're scared about something when you're lying in bed. You're like, oh, this scary imagery is going to present itself to me.
It's not like you hear a creak and you
Yeah,
think,
and you're like, oh my
god, somebody's robbing me.
It's like it's just like that moment in Doki Doki where the character heard a creak. It's not like that at all. It's very different. It's very specific, and then it's just it's there, and then it's like, oh.
So I would say if you're borderline, if you think maybe you should read about it. I'll tell you,
Check out the music.
It fucked me up. This game.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I texted my girlfriend like, "Oh my god, holy fuck! I can't go to sleep. This is I can't stop. Oh, I'm shaking. I'm freaking out." Like I had to play the game in 2 sittings. That's how.
You know, I did too.
To the core, I was where I was like, I have to stop.
Yeah.
I can't do this. This is too much.
I was like, I played part of it, and I was like, Rowan, can you sit in and do the rest of this with me? I don't want to do it by myself. I'm comfortable.
And I mean, that's why it's here.
Yeah.
It does something that no other game probably will ever do again. And it does just such a good job of what it's doing. Just like Beginner's Guide, it's focused on what it wants to do, exactly what it wants to convey, and it gets it done, and that's it. That's the game, and that game will stick with you for a long time. And that's Doki Doki Literature Club.
Do you have a best girl? It's okay.
Yeah, it's the long-haired
Yuri?
Yuri, yeah.
I say Ori, obviously.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Also, one last funny thing. You didn't finish the game.
I also didn't finish the game, technically. I did get it 99.5% complete. But yes, technically I didn't finish the game.
There's still more game for you. You have to go back.
I have to go back. I will probably play the game all the way through. Maybe upon getting footage for this, I'll probably just decide to play the whole thing through.
Yeah. Be opportune.
Keep the lights all the way on. Make sure I
play it only like on a sunny afternoon.
Yeah. But part of the problem was that it was like that was when I used to work at 4 a.m.
Oh my god.
And I finished playing it at 6 p.m. at night. I'm like, I have to eat dinner and wind down to start to go to bed now. Oh my god.
Sick game. I love it.
Sick, fantastic game. Thank you, 20XX creator Danny Silva.
Love him. Love him.
Thanks, man.
All right, my number 8. This one is a very, very, very big game. Honestly, it's only gotten bigger since I've played it, but I kind of stopped playing it. I mean, we both stopped playing it after some point and never picked it back up. And maybe we'll go back. Who knows?
Don't say it.
My number 8's Minecraft. Remember Minecraft?
Yeah, I do. I do remember Minecraft.
Minecraft is so good.
I remember it as that game that I could play with my ex-girlfriend because that was about as far as she could get into video games, and I was
it's
like,
pretty accessible. So long as you can get your, if you can see something in your mind's eye existing in the Minecraft world, that's enough. Then you go. And then it's like, okay. Then you don't stop until either it's done or it's like 4 a.m. You're like, oh, fuck.
I guess.
Depending, obviously.
I've got some asterisks to put all over Minecraft, but
Obviously.
I guess part of it would be that maybe I forgot Minecraft. I don't feel like it's missing the list. If I had to say that these 10 games are there,
That's
I don't
fair.
think that it would have made the list.
I still think I liked Minecraft a lot more than you did.
Minecraft was a thing that did come before we were making lists, and that's an incredible thing to think about. Because I might not have any that came before lists for me. That's what's interesting.
I think you might be missing out on some.
Maybe, or it might just be that
they were all bad.
Or that I played nothing but Call of Duty before we started making lists.
Yeah.
And then I started to realize that there was a better world out there.
Call of Duty, Minecraft is not. Minecraft is just, I don't know. It's weird to think about it as this phenomenon that continues to grow. I mean, it's outsold Tetris, I think? Is it the most popular game yet?
It probably didn't outsell Tetris. No matter how many versions of putting it in a classroom that you could do, even then I don't think it's outsold Tetris.
Fair.
Potentially.
We'll see. Numbers on the screen.
I will tell you that I have made a lesson plan with Minecraft before. That's pretty incredible that we're at that point in the world that we do have that video game that goes into the classroom.
It has a lot to offer, and I mean, I'm still, I don't play it, but I'm still interested to see what people do in it. And when I do see some stuff, I mean, most of the things that I see is just like people dotting the ground in a large square, so when you look at the map, it's a picture. I'm like, oh, isn't that cool? I don't want to do that.
I guess, that seems like a lot of work. I don't think about the times of playing Minecraft anymore, but, in part that's because all the stuff that got added scares me to fucking death.
Oh, yeah. Underwater is scarier. The Nether is scarier. Everything's scary.
The big winner is underwater. It was just one time where I was like, what's out there? What am I seeing floating around in the water? And then a big
friendly squid
quallfish goes around my face, and I'm enchanted negatively.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, what?
Don't go in the water, I guess.
Fuck? And I ran and ran and ran, and I'll always remember my ex was like, yeah, I'm going to try and get down there. And I'm like, don't. I am not looking at your screen when you're fucking with that. I don't want to see a Guardian. I don't want to see any of that nonsense. That moment shook me almost as much as Doki Doki Literature Club.
And it's not even on your list.
And, yeah, what am I doing? No, it's this weird thing where I almost caught up to your lack of motivation with Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Other than make a big old mine track, and that's it.
Big old tunnel of sandstone.
I make a big old tunnel of something stupid, and that's it. What do I do? I gotta walk over to the desert and just mine forever, and then I can just turn that into sandstone.
That is always the problem. I mean, the reason that we haven't played it is because we sort of ran out of vision. There are things that we didn't want to do anymore. Like last time we played it, it was just like, well, we'll just sort of play it and see what goes on. And then we had ideas, and then we kind of started and then we just kind of stopped because we couldn't figure out what we wanted to do. And then it's just like,
Maybe. But in part, Minecraft has made its way onto that list of top 10 games Ducky falls asleep to.
This is true. This is not a thing that is...
That's the problem.
It's not a problem for me, which I can see why you can have you can have more asterisks around Minecraft than me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
I have a lot of really, really, really fond memories with it. I mean, I still think back to playing it in, like, I don't know, 2010.
I mean, I do too. I have those memories too when we were both in college and, you know, I made my JC
The train station.
The train station, that was pretty silly.
The fucking JC Penney.
You made cool
Madison Cube Garden or whatever?
Madison Cube Garden. I wanted to make the thing from Futurama, but I was just like, that seems like a nightmare. Why would I even try that?
Back when...
And right now I'm thinking maybe of exactly how to do it, and now I'm kind of upset that I never made it, but...
Yeah.
I just like
map that was 80% water.
I just like that time where I blew up your room full of explosives.
Blocks of gold and diamond block and
yeah, I was like, he's showing off.
in my hidden
you
tucked away bunker.
You hid it from me, but then I just dug in there, found it, and then I was like, wait, where's the exit? And then I walked into you with nothing equipped, and you hit me with a sword, and then you blew up my treehouse.
Maybe that's why we stopped playing Minecraft.
Yeah, because finally we got to the point where we were fucking with each other. But I mean, I needed something to do.
Yeah. Fair. Maybe I'll go back to Minecraft someday. Maybe I'll have something that I want to do in Minecraft again. But I mean, it hasn't happened. And if that's not there, I mean, I don't really see a point in going back. But
I don't deny it. It's, you know, one of the best games of the decade. I can agree with that. That's cool. That's a cool thing to have on there. I'm not like, hey, no.
More like Minecraft.
Yeah. More like Ninecraft.
Number 8.
German.
Oh.
Number 8. That's pretty true.
I'm done. Go out.
Yeah. So, my number 8 is a game that's just so fun. And at the very least, you know, it brought me back into just playing games for so many hours in a row because it's just so fucking fun. It is my favorite superhero open world game, and of course it's on here. My number 8 is Sunset Overdrive.
Really?
It's Sunset Overdrive, man.
Insane.
I love Sunset Overdrive, and maybe it's because I have played Saints Row 4 at least 2.5 times through. And maybe I should play Sunset again. I should restart it, and I should play it over again so that I have that frame of reference to be like, yeah, definitively, this is the game that I enjoy to play more. But I guess maybe we should look at the comparables here. That maybe Saints Row 4 might not be that good.
Oh my god.
Maybe
insane spiciest take.
Maybe it's time for me to say that Saints Row 4 is definitely a top 40 game of all time. But maybe the fact that it was the first superhero open world game that I played, maybe there's those chinks in the armor.
There's all sorts of doubt with Saints Row 4 for you. And I guess not with Sunset Overdrive?
And a lot of it is that, some things really don't function that great. Sometimes I'm just thinking, ooh, that fucked up. I was the one who was so into, the PS4 version of Saints Row 4 is just not as good as the 360 version because they just slapped it together so they could put it on the other system.
I mean, it wasn't very good.
And then I played the PS3 version.
I don't think that was very good either.
Oh, what? The 360 version's just better?
Oh, I don't know.
Why would it be? That doesn't make any sense. I figured it was because it was that first generation version of that game. And then the second gen version, fuck it, they don't care. They just threw it out.
Hey, Saints Row 3 is getting a remaster.
Here I go. Oh my god, I'm going to play Saints Row 3. I remember playing Saints Row 3 where... I'm doing this thing again. I'm just not talking about the game that is
you were
in
talking
the
about
circle.
all the things,
but
all
Saints
the
Row
things
3,
around
all
it.
I remember is there's just that time where I was just sitting in one intersection and it was just like shooting all the shit and nothing could stop me and I'm like, what? Okay. Well, what's gonna stop me now? I just have a rocket launcher and I'm just gonna kill everything forever. Whoa, uh-oh. But I mean, I guess it's Saints Row 3, which, turned into Saints Row 4. Very similar games. I don't know. Sunset Overdrive it's something special on its own where, yeah, it's in the flying in Saints Row 4, nothing will touch that. But the problem comes with being on the ground and you're shooting stuff. There's too many deletions where I'm like, oh my god, this is insanely hard. No matter how much I run away, there's too much of this trying to get out of there. Sunset Overdrive is difficult in a way of you just gotta keep moving. You gotta stay in the air. If you're not in the air, you're dead for good reason. You deserve to be dead. But if you're staying up there, you can jump, and the obstacles that are made from like the gameplay of them thinking, well, it's pretty easy for you to stay up in the air. So what if there's an infected that just shoots stuff onto those power lines so that you can't infinitely grind? You have to jump away from that. You have to do something else to adjust. If you're too close to something, it's just going to get you. If there's a big tank thing, it'll just throw a projectile at you and hit you. Like, you have to keep moving and you have to vary it. And it's just so fluid.
Yeah.
It's just this game that when I played it, I'm like, oh man, I'm just trying to get from one end of the city to the other. I don't want to fast travel, but there's enemies the entire way. But I gotta get this gun to level 5. So on my way there,
I'm enjoy it.
I'm just gonna enjoy
Who needs the fast travel?
getting there. And maybe the other thing is that, I don't know, I like the story drive a little bit better too. I just like the idea of, yeah, Saints Row 4, it can be that game where the world is destroyed and you're in a simulation and it is that scale that is world-ending, and that's great. But maybe I just like that the apocalypse is happening.
Yeah. It's
and
a little bit.
You're just in your city.
Yeah.
And there's no going to the ship to talk to people. It's like maybe the worst parts of Saints Row 4 are just not being in the simulation. It's
Yeah.
like, you have to not have powers, and it's like, well,
Come on.
I don't want to be there.
Can we go back to the fun part?
Yeah, I just want to run around really fast and always do these insane, crazy melee finishers that always work. Saints Row 4 is an incredible game, but I just like our poor Xbox One exclusive just a little bit more.
Our scrappy underdog, Sunset Overdrive.
Our game where the developers talk to me on Sunset TV. Just like, it's nice to see you guys. I feel closer to you in this game that just got shafted. A game that I saw at E3 and thought, that game's gonna be awesome. And then what? I played it 5 years later.
Yeah.
And that was after everybody was like, this game is whatever, who cares? Sunset Overdrive is amazing. If you have an Xbox One, it's crazy cheap. Sunset Overdrive.
Cool.
Phenomenal game.
All right, my number 7 is Bloodborne.
Woo!
Bloodborne. The only Souls-like game I beat. I played a lot of Dark Souls 1, couldn't beat it. I started Dark Souls 2, gave up, it was too hard, couldn't beat it.
Who cares about Dark Souls 2?
Heard the DLC is actually way better than the base game. I didn't get that far.
I mean, whatever. I just heard, 1's great, 3's great in a different way. Bloodborne's the best.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, but I mean, I don't know. Something about Bloodborne, it was just maybe it's because it was faster and you had to be a little bit, I don't know. It felt like you had to be reckless. When I was playing Dark Souls or games like that, I'm like, well, I got shielded. I'm pretty good if I hide behind my shield until it's not feasible anymore. And they're like, well, I'm bad now. And then Bloodborne is like, I got this saw cleaver. I'm so good with the saw cleaver. And it's like, it comes out and everybody's like, the axe is easy mode because you could just make it really long. And I'm like, yeah, but the saw cleaver looks really cool. And so I used that the entire time my first run. And I was like, I don't want to use anything else because just this one weapon is cool enough. And then, I played through it. It was a blast. I mean, it was so satisfying. It was, I don't know. You know all the superlatives, everything that people say about Dark Souls-like games where it's just, oh, it's so hard, but it's so satisfying once you figure out the timing. And I feel like that was the only game where I felt like I had the patience. There was enough going on around it, and I was good enough at a base level with the game that I could, succeed as it continued. And I went through. I played it 3 times to get the plat, and it's like every time that you did it afterwards, it was just like, I know what I'm doing now. I can just run, slice, run, and it's just, I don't know. The environments are just absolutely beautiful. I mean, I loved traversing the city. Even the big time that you go into the swamp, which is almost always the worst level. I mean, it kind of was, but it's like that was it was a nice it really broke up the game into okay, well now there's this is what you're used to. Things are gotta be a little bit different, and the fucking swamp area is just massive, and you're like, when am I gonna get to the boss? How much more am I walking through? Oh my god, that's a pile of snakes. And it's just as you continue on, the enemies are just weirder and weirder and weirder, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then it's you read up the lore, somebody puts up a 40-minute dissection of what's happening, and you're like, I can't disprove any of this. This is not what I gathered, but obviously I was fucking 3-heading the entire time. But it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just the gameplay's great. Just go ahead and slice stuff up. People are gonna say all these weird mystic things, and every time there's a loading screen, you can get an item description. And you're like, ooh, this existed prior in the spooky time.
You look in that screen and it says something like, Bloodborne is actually Dark Souls' son.
Bloodborne's gun was actually gifted from Neo.
Did you know that Bloodborne is the king of blood?
The king of blood. I think the funny, interesting thing is how well the story aged, because it's kind of about this this fear-mongering pandemic of an illness that's spreading throughout this city, and then people are just going on mob witch hunts to sort of take it out themselves. Take it into their own arms because they know what's right. I like Bloodborne a lot.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Bloodborne is just, it's the best of those, and as I said, it's the only one that I could really get into, and I obviously have a lot of respect, but I think every other game is more fun for me to watch people be good at, and then Bloodborne is oh, I can do that. I figured it out. I am actually patient enough just for this game. If you ask me to be any more patient, I don't know if I can do that. Bloodborne, I'm there. I'm slicing. I'm having a good time. Grim dark time. Great music. Great enemies. Character design. Great weapons. Very satisfying combat. When are you gonna play Bloodborne?
I should. This isn't one of those. Oh, I got a lot of things to do. I probably should. Like I really should. There have been instances where I've thought about it. Yeah. Maybe we'll get one of those PS5 HD remasters so I can get it on a system with enough data storage that I don't feel like I'm losing my mind.
See me next year when I show up and say I tried Demon Souls remastered, but it's too hard.
But I liked it a lot. It's number 8.
I didn't beat it, but
You know what's incredible about doing a list like this is that 10 games from an entire decade. We are going through so many radical genres.
I know.
Just like
I know.
Whiplash that you go from crazy fun superhero open world sandbox to Demon Soul or Dark Light game where you got a cleaver to being rocket cars, hitting the ball into a goal. And number 7 is Rocket League, a game that we all got for free in 2015, and a game that I still have installed because here and there we're still playing Rocket League.
Your Rocket League is going free to play?
That's not fair.
No. It's okay because if you got it beforehand, then you get all the DLC that you didn't buy.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Are you telling me that I'm going to get a goal celebration? Rocket League I can throw under the bus for microtransactions. I'm pretty pissed about that.
Fucked by the chests.
Yeah. If you have a goal celebration, congratulations. I didn't get one, and I did all I could to earn enough blueprints that I would probably be able to buy one, and I didn't get one. I didn't get a goal celebration blueprint. I can't even buy one if I wanted to.
Embarrassing. Really.
Embarrassing. Rocket League is that game from the 2010s that is its own thing, that nothing else was.
Yeah.
There is no game in which you are playing a sport in a variant with cars, in which they make it silly, and you're jumping around, and it's Rocket League, man.
It's really, it's very accessible and simple. You could describe it to anybody, and you give them a controller, and it's like, it's soccer, but you drive the car, and they're like, oh, I can do that. Yeah. You can jump. You can double jump. You have a boost. That's it. Go have fun. And then you do have fun.
Yeah, everyone always has fun. I've had, we speculated that the only way that you would not enjoy Rocket League would be if you absolutely have a complete aversion to competition. That's it. Like, if you don't want to compete against anybody, even bots, if you are very, I'm the protagonist and I'm going to play through this game and, I will complete a game, and that's my goal. Maybe Rocket League's not your thing.
Yeah.
If you really can't handle those rookie bots. But I think you can. I think we all could if we just put in a little time. And you give it that time, you'll enjoy it. Rocket League is the game that's platinum. If you play enough Rocket League, I will get upset with you if you don't have the platinum.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me. The only thing you have to do is win one championship. Oh yeah, that's really hard. You can put the bots all the way on the hardest difficulty. As long as, if you had a buddy, you'll be fine. Don't even worry. The bots aren't that good. People only get that good when you go online and you play with Alex. And you're like,
everyone's flying off the walls, off the ceilings. And you're like, shit, we're not cycling. If you're not, you always gotta cycle out so somebody gets a strong hit on the ball, and we're just like, I want to stand in the goal.
We need a goalie. We're like, you don't need a goalie. No one ever needs a goalie. And he does these quarter flips that allow him to just instantly flip over.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
the wave dashing equivalent of Rocket League. You could just shuffle to the left and the right. Listen, I gotta back up, move forward.
Yeah,
I'm doing maneuverability over here.
I will power slide to that spot. I'm not gonna do some kind of advanced tech thing. And I wish I could.
We got pretty far with given our. We were good, but we weren't that good.
with our ceiling of being stupid dum-dums who don't try to learn any tech, yeah, we were pretty good. We got to Shooting Star. I thought that was amazing. And what, Shooting Star is like the middle tier?
Dude, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know it's good anymore. Yeah, right?
I mean, game of the decade? It's falling off a little bit. Yeah, when do I play it? I play it to play Drop Shot. Drop Shot is my game. I love Drop Shot. I think it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a variant that's just perfect. It changes the gameplay in a way where, yeah, you're still a car and you still got to fly to hit the ball, but your objective is, well, I mean, you're not going to sit back there in the goal. You're going to space yourself in a way that's smarter, that, you know, they're probably going to hit that ball to you, so you can jump up, change the color of the ball, at least make sure that it doesn't hit your floor.
I think it's
And I like Drop Shot a lot because the luck variant is gone. Like with Drop Shot, it's like you very specifically have to get that floor open in order to score. You have to be competent, damn it. You can't just, whoopsie daisy, I slammed the ball against the wall, it went 80 miles an hour to the goal while the other team's cycling. We should have done more of that when we had a goal, you know? Just managed to hit the ball so hard that the three people who are constantly attacking us and we can't get the ball to their side, we just slam it and it ends up in their goal.
We could never even get it out. Whenever we played, the ball was in our defensive square like 75% of the time. But and we still won a lot of games.
We would have a very good defensive cycle. That's what was good. It's like if a person went for the ball and got it out, they wouldn't back up into the goal. They'd be like, well, now I'm following. Here I go. Yeah. And I'll try. Oh, they got it past me. Oh, Ducky's going for it. And then half the games we'd lose 0-5 because we'd peaked.
Yes, this is
Heavy
true.
peak was our problem with Rocket League.
Heavy peak. I think I'm impressed with the variation that they had on it, because when it came out, it was just soccer, and then they added Drop Shot, and they added Rocket Labs,
Rumble, Labs. We were so
Snow Day.
I fucking love Snow Day.
And it's like they're all just like really minor tweaks. It's like, oh, it's a weird map, or oh, it's a flat ball.
And it was the same thing where it felt like they were listening to us, where it was like, you're like, we want Rocket Labs. We just want those silly maps. Okay, here you go. Okay.
We'll play it.
That's great. Okay, the variants, they're randomized. I don't like them to be random. Okay, here you go. There's specific ones. They fixed so many things. Like, Rocket League was that game that just always kept adapting, because they're like, well, I mean, they're not going to make Rocket League 2 1 year after Rocket League 1 came out.
It was also incredibly polished.
Yeah.
Like, the entire time, we saw, like, no bugs.
Yeah, game still looks great. A little bug here and there. There was one time where somebody drove out of a map.
Well, I don't know anything
about
that.
It's... like, I had a similar glitch in like, Last of Us 2 the other day, where, you know, I did a specific thing at a moment, and I got myself soft-locked in the environment, and I was like, well, okay, you know what? I tricked you, Naughty Dog. Got one past
the zombies aren't getting me.
Yeah. It's just suffocation. Being underwater.
I'll just die by myself.
Yeah. I wanted to see that animation. You put a lot of work into it, and I wasn't going to do that on purpose, so let's see it. Naughty Dog, what do you got? Now reset all the enemies, and I'll be fucking pissed that happened. Rocket League's great. Hopefully you played it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We all enjoyed it. It's a great game.
Twas. All right. Am I up? Yeah, I'm up.
Yeah, it's your 6.
Yeah. All right. My number 6 is Factorio.
Bing, bam, boom.
Do you remember Factorio?
I do remember Factorio.
Do you remember what it looks like?
Yes.
That's probably it, right?
It's like super high-res Dwarf Fortress, right?
I can't even... I'm going to say no, but I can really see how you would see that.
It's a flat 2D plane, and there's a lot going on.
There's so much going on. So many arms and so many belts, so much machinery.
Yeah. Anyway, I would love if you put your 2020 spin on Factorio.
Here's the thing. I don't have a 2020 spin. It's the same as my 2018 spin? 2017 spin.
Yep.
It's just... It was really good. And I still really haven't played it that much since then. but it was so good. And it's just, I think about it, and I think one of the things that's holding me back is because it's, you ever have a feeling where you're like starting something and you're like, I know I'm gonna have to redo this later, but I just have to get it working so I can get to the point where I have to redo it.
Oh.
What if I just don't do it?
Oh, yeah, that's terrible. That's a terrible feeling.
Yeah, it's just about slowly doing more and more, and the way that the game scales with, production. The entire game is just getting supplies and turning those supplies into things and turning those refined supplies into even more refined supplies. And it's like, you have your iron, you have your copper, and it makes like a circuit board, right? How easy is it then to make 10 circuit boards at a time? And then you take those 10 circuit boards into an advanced circuit board, and all of those are kind of funneling into the same spot, and then it's like, okay, what if you need 10 advanced circuit boards? Well, then you need 100 regular circuit boards. And I'm like, I did not have the materials to plan out for 100 circuit boards. It's a really compelling gameplay loop.
Yeah.
It's just constantly, okay, things are buzzing, the factory is moving, all this production is going through, and that was me, I built this, and now I gotta go to farther lands. Do I gotta build a train? Yeah, I do. Am I gonna drive the train? Sometimes, but it can drive itself. Okay, let's fill the train with raw materials so it'll fit into our existing circuit board production because, oops, all the materials in the immediate area are gone. So now it's like, I gotta turn the regular influx, which was just a pile of ore, into like a train station, and I have to, as I'm building that, I'm like, okay, well, now I gotta be able to make this be flexible enough, and what if I want multiple trains coming in through? And it's like, you really do, you can just kind of like take it bit by bit, and I'm sure that would be fine. I mean, the first time I played it, it was the purest and the most fun because I was sort of uncovering all of this stuff as I went, and I would come up with these like sort of hacky solutions where it's like, well, I could just get this. Okay, fine. This works. I don't have a belt that's just constantly transferring stuff to another belt. Instead, I just have one arm pushing it on one at a time. And then at some point, I'm like, why is this so slow? And I'm like tracing back to where there's a big lineup, and I was like, oh well, I had to do this weird thing to get it to work. Now how am I gonna unknot this section here and optimize it? And then it's a lot of fun when you get down into the nitty gritty. And I think the problem with that is it's like, how taking the first step to something is really hard, but then continuing it is easy, right?
Yeah.
Now all I can think about is, fuck, now I gotta try all that stuff again. I mean, I started it earlier this year because I was like, I'll just do this while this is going on the side. And the entire time I was like, I can't make belts go underground yet. I only have the short arm and the slow arm and the arm that requires coal instead of uses electricity. Oh man, this is all gonna have to be redone, and maybe I'll just play Max Payne 3. I just want to click heads. But, I still think there is Factorio fits a really, really satisfying niche. And like we said about many things on this list, what else is there like Factorio that's not just honest to God fucking computer science?
Hell yeah.
Maybe that was one of the reasons that I didn't go back, is because it's like, at some points it's like, oh fuck, this is getting too close to just
work.
It's like, I gotta get this data from a client, and then I gotta make sure it's all like formatted correctly, but maybe I should format it right when it comes back instead of sending all the raw data through. And it's like, I gotta pull out a whiteboard for my belts, and it's like I need people on a Zoom call to discuss what's the best way to get all these railroads into each other. Maybe what would have been nice is, a couple times I played it with Rob and Kyler, and we had a blast. And it was just one of those things where it's like, well, nobody was like, all right, let's get on Factorio. I'm ready to hop back in. It was just, oh, you want to play? Yeah, okay, we'll play. And then we play, and then it's like, nobody wants to say, all right, I'm getting off, but I am getting bored. And that's that sort of playing online with your friends.
That's brutal.
Yeah, but I mean, we had a lot of fun. We'd be like, hey, Kyler, you want to take care of this? And he's just fucking setting us on fire with a flamethrower. He's like, Kyler, here, I'll come pick you up, and I pick him up with a car, but I don't slow down and just fucking run into him.
That is Kyler, though.
It's just a lot of fun, and it's just very... It starts off very simple, and you're like, okay, yeah, just this to this, and then it's like fucking calculus before you know it. Yeah, again, there's not really much to say about Factorio. If you can take a look at it.
All that.
I don't know. Have I been talking a long time? It's just I don't know.
I'll find a way to edit that down to 20 seconds.
Factorio is fun.
Factorio is work.
Factorio is whiteboarding.
Train flamethrower.
Train thrower, Kyler?
Board. Board, whiteboard.
Board whiteboard.
All right. So, what have we got? We got, twin stick shooter.
Mm-hmm.
We got Japanese virtual dating sim.
Mm-hmm.
We got open world sandbox superhero.
Mm-hmm.
We've got sports multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
We've got rhythm music game with a plastic instrument that's just a controller. My 6 is Amplitude 2016.
Amplitude 2016, what a great game.
Amplitude 2016.
What a great soundtrack.
See, now we can talk about it with so much reverence, because now it's not like you're number 8. You're like, wow, it's such a great game. Man, it really did a lot of things that no other game did. Wow, that soundtrack's so good. Let's talk about the soundtrack, a thing that you've always been cool with, and I'm turning around on.
Would you ever get it on vinyl?
Yes.
Insane.
I easily would. I would easily get it on vinyl. I would listen to it. There's something insane about the fact that now I'm plugging a controller straight into my head with headphones, and this music sounds fucking incredible. All of it. It's all just like, they knew exactly what to put on those charts and how to make it sound, that it sounds so fucking good when I'm just playing it. I got chills multiple times. Amplitude is a game that I also never uninstalled. This part of the reason why it's so high is that every once in a while over the last 3 years, I would just kind of be like, man, I'm kind of bored of whatever I'm doing. I'll just put on Amplitude, and at the end of every song, I'll just hit random song, and I'll just keep going through the game. Wherever the game takes me, that's where I'll go. And that's what I've been doing this entire time. And it's just the soundtrack's so good. Even those songs that fuck me up, they sound good. They all sound good. Everything sounds good, and that's what's great.
I think there are probably a few songs that I would skip. I don't think I ever really care for Crazy Ride, but...
Crazy Ride's okay. It's that song that goes like this. It's that one that's just really simple. Left, middle, right, middle, left, middle, right. And that's a whole fucking song. And it's like, all right.
Yeah. That one...
My brain wants to say it's called Lights Out or something.
It's got lights in the name, I'm sure. It might just be lights.
Yeah, I think it's Lights. Yeah, that song's lame because there's nothing to do with it. It's just kind of blah.
I like it as a song, but I'm like, yeah, it is just a bonus song.
Yeah, like, as a part of Amplitude, it's easy to say this because of fucking synthesized.
Synthesized.
Fucking synthesized breaks me with how good it is. And the more I just listen to it, like, Jesus, that is a fucking good song that you could put in 2 Amplitude games, and I'm not going to be pissed at them for having one song in 2 games.
Yeah, I think talking about this soundtrack, especially with the campaign, I think there must have been a lot of thought that went into it, because there is just a gradual progression of difficulty.
Yeah.
But they are all just songs. It's not like, I'm sure when they were developing it, they're like, all right, we're gonna make a slower song, or it's like, let's not make the drums that hard. But at the same time, it's like that restriction wasn't so much so to where it takes you out of just enjoying it as a song.
What helps in this game's favor is that I did manage to get back into the top 100 between those 2 recordings and now, because, like, within this month, I actually beat 2 of my personal bests. Holy shit.
Insane.
In 2016, I played this game so fucking much that it was just like, I was putting 1 hour to 2 hours into it a day, because I'm like, I gotta get better. I'm gonna play this song. I can get higher in the world in this song. I'm gonna do it. Here I go. Can I find where the multipliers are? I found a site that had like a crude multiplier layout. Nothing official. It was like a Reddit forum. And it's like, they don't know.
The game facts page.
Yeah, like, they don't know where all the multipliers are. They're just guessing. They're like, measure this. This is where it is. And it's some of them.
Huh.
And it's just like, sometimes I'll have runs where there's runs where I'm like, holy shit, I found them all. And then the next run, I find none. I'm like, wow, that was a waste of my time because I found absolutely none of the doubles. That's just choosing a path.
What's your favorite song? Do you have a favorite song?
Favorite.
Let's just do from the campaign and then from the bonus.
My favorite song. I have bad memories with ICU, even though it's a very, very good song.
Yeah.
I have like a special place for Magpie, but I swear Magpie's never come up on random. Dalatect has that. It's got that fucking yes thing. Where
yes! Dalatect is the best song to end the campaign on.
Dalatect, it has that fucking emotional journey where you're like, holy shit, and then you feel that tear stream down your face.
Yeah, it's such a good...
You're like, this is how it ends, because the first half of the song is just fuck you hard.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're just like...
At the end of the campaign, all the HUD goes away.
Yeah.
It's transcendent. I also love Dalatect.
Yeah, it's just one of those good moments. I also really like Decode Me. Recession, ever since it got put onto Rock Band,
floor, yeah.
You're like, oh fuck, that song's actually really fun to play.
Energize, big fan of that.
Energize is pretty cool. Throw it all out the window. It might just be fucking Energize. Energize is just so... I just get so pumped every time I start playing Energize.
It is a really
because it's just so fast, and there's like... One of those synth lines is crazy, and you're just like, oh my god, I got it.
Yeah.
And like, that's the feeling of playing this game. It's just like, oh my god, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Dalatec's drum line, which when it's fast, you will never fucking get. And all it is just like break drums. It's all you can hear. It's just like... And then my favorite non-soundtrack is fucking synthesized.
Yeah, fair.
It just sounds so goddamn good, and I can't beat it most times I fucking play it. Because it's just, the time I got the record for synthesized, I had this fucking run from 40% through the song to 95 where I made no mistakes, and I was like, I'm never gonna fucking do that again. That was so good. Where I just land on a drum line and, oh my god, this game gives you fucking wrist strain if you're... I need to get like a fucking controller like
get a fight stick.
That sounds like a great idea. Are you fucking kidding me? Just fucking
actually,
slap.
Yes, let's fucking...
Oh my god, this might be the end of Amplitude. I might be number one in the world because I'll just be like, yeah. I'm just playing fucking Donkey Kong.
Just slapping the joystick to switch tracks. You're like, just like DJ Hero.
I mean, that'd be real easy to switch tracks like that.
Yeah,
like,
just like.
It's only left. That's it. That's the only way we can go. But, Amplitude 2016. If you like rhythm music games, please give it some love. It's probably, I don't even remember, like $20. It's fucking worth every penny. It's so good.
Super underrated. Just like Amplitude PS2.
Yeah. And they'll never make another one. And I cannot wait to bring my PS2 over here so I can fucking play Amplitude on at least a fucking non-laggy
stream time.
I'm probably not on the stream. But I'd love to try it again.
All right. My number 5. Big ol' fuck you. My number 5 is Saints Row 4.
Oh, okay. My brain went to Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know why, but I was like...
It is not that.
I was like, what? Holy shit!
It's Saints Row 4. Saints Row 4 is so good. Saints Row 4 is still one of the most fun games. Both fun and funny games.
Yeah. It is.
I don't know. It's funny because when you I was so prepared for you to lead into Saints Row 4.
That's why I did it.
And you were like, I was agreeing with so many of those things, and it's like, yeah, you know what? This was a game where it's just like I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna play it for hours, and it's like it was the first one in a long time that made me just want to do that.
And I did that with Saints Row 4. I totally did that with Saints Row 4. I would agree. Not now. I don't have that same. I don't find the same thing, which is part of the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. But I'm not fucking saying that Saints Row 4 is outside of the top 20 games of this decade.
Sure.
It is that fucking good. It's really, really good.
Yeah. And I you know, it's weird because everybody always, you know, when Saints Row 4 came out, and I feel like people still have this, you know, it wasn't. It's just a different game. It's not what they wanted. It's a different, or it came out too soon. It's like they didn't even, you know, so many things weren't actually changed. I'm like, who cares? There aren't that many good superhero games, and it's just I love running up buildings. I love picking up the clusters. Bomb-ass soundtrack.
Yeah.
Funny connection. Both Saints Row 4 and Sunset Overdrive have a Fiddler song in it, and Grand Theft Auto had a Fiddler song on it.
Sunset Overdrive, here's where Saints Row 4 blows Sunset Overdrive out of the water. Sunset Overdrive is like not a game that you like diegetically listen to. That's a game that you totally put on a podcast and have fun with, because none of the music has lyrics. It's like they have copyright-free versions of apparently this Fiddler song. I didn't think any of the music was anything
like real? You didn't think it was
real.
licensed?
No, I thought it was all just original to the game.
Insane.
And it was just kind of fine. And that's it. Like, that's how that game functioned. Saints Row 4,
you can make your own mixtape. We both made ours.
You make your own fucking mixtape. Yep, you can do that. What game does that other than Downhill Domination?
God. And, I mean, what game can contend with Saints Row 4's soundtrack other than Downhill Domination? I think Saints Row 4, Get
the fuck out of here. Downhill Domination is a glorious game, but its soundtrack is not very good. No, and I tolerated the shit out of it because I was a small child. We finally snuck a violent video game past his parents. That's actually a great story, and I'd love to tell it, where we were in Sears. Fucking rest in peace, Sears. The Sears next to us is closing. It's having its fucking.
I felt like it's been closing for 15 years.
It's Chapter 7 sale, but
cool.
I was at like Sears. I was playing the demo, and
Downhill Domination, which is a downhill bike riding game, bicycle.
It's a downhill bike game where you punch the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Oh, that game looks so cool, great." And I was like, "Hey, Dad, what do you think about this?" And I punched somebody, and he did not pay attention. He was like, "Yeah, it's great." And that's how I was able to buy Downhill Domination as a kid. And I remember the day after they walked down, and I was playing Mosh Pit, which is only violence.
It's just a bunch of people biking in a circular
in a fucking bowl,
demo derby arena, and just punching, kicking
in a bowl, just killing
checking each other.
And they're just like, "What is this game? This is awful." I'm like, "You literally checked it." And it was one of those high morality moments for me.
There
where
you
I was
go.
like, 120
I told you! Anyways, Saints Row 4. Yeah, you know, pretty much every story mission takes you out of the simulation. Every story mission is like, well, you're not going to do the same overworld stuff. You're not going to jump around. Well, some of them you do.
Some of them, but it's still like you have to defend Sid.
Which even then had some funny bits. I remember.
There are funny bits all over the place.
All over the place.
I'm just talking about the gameplay as opposed to the comedy and writing.
That's true. I think, you know, as much as I love the gameplay, I think I do hold it really highly for just being successfully funny.
Yeah.
Like I'm just really impressed by that. And it has a lot of moments, you know, when you're singing along on the radio with your buddy. And then the big overlord comes in and steps in.
You're talking about Pierce.
Pierce, yeah.
Yeah, name them. You gotta know the cast if this is in your top 10 decades. Excuse me.
Did you fuck? I said, what was your favorite girl from Ducky? And you said the long-haired one. There's like literally 5 characters in the entire game, and you're one of them. You name that person.
I thought you were gonna say that there's only like there's 2 long-haired ones. You idiot. You gotta be more specific. Purple,
Fucking
orange.
Keith David.
That's
in
true.
Saints Row 4?
That's true. That is a character in your squad. The only character you can't romance. And maybe one of the only celebrities that if I saw them in real life, I would actually be starstruck. Just like Pauly Shore. Okay, go ahead.
I would love to bump into Keith David and say, I loved you in Saints Row 4.
I would love to bump into Keith David.
And...
I love you. And that's it. I'd be like, man, you would say Saints Row 4 over Mass Effect? I guess he's got a better part in this than Mass Effect 2, that's for sure. Where he's like, why'd you make me into a politician? Fuck you. The Citadel looks like shit now, you piece of shit.
Do you remember the part in Saints Row 4 where you find Gat and you're back in the 2D world and he goes, Aisha.
I do remember the fucking...
No! That game had a dubstep gun.
Yeah.
And it was great. It wasn't even just like existing for a meme. It was just like, it has the dubstep gun.
It was. Well, here's the problem with
Let's
the dubstep
fucking
gun.
upgrade the dubstep
It
gun.
was
Let's change the tunes.
Fucking overpowered.
Everything was really
when
powerful.
I realized
used 2 machine guns because I'm boring.
2 submachine guns, acidic, very good. But like when I realized
just blasting people.
Fucking dildo gun.
What was it? Inflato Ray?
Explode people's heads. That one's not so good.
That one is funny just when you like have to do it. You're like, this is good enough.
Yeah, because you only have to do it for 25 kills. But
you
like
do black hole gun, like, well, I'm getting sucked in.
Black hole gun is pretty evil. It will dispense of.
It feels like it's breaking the game.
Just like the black hole gun in Enter the Gungeon, but
black hole gun. I'm sorry.
The moment I realized the dubstep gun actually, when you changed the paint colors, changed the song, I was like, fuck, that's awesome. Because I was like, I don't want the one that looks the best. I want fucking Popstar. That's the one that sounds the best.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the one I want to do.
Yeah. You know, I think Saints Row 4 succeeds on such a good level in that it's that sort of game where you're like, yeah, fuck the main shit. I just want to keep doing all the side content. It's like, cluster, I can see that. I can go to that. Okay, tower? Ooh, yeah, okay. I get to the top of that. How far can I fly? Do I need to fast travel? No, I'll just run. I like the races.
Fast travel is in... What did you just say about... Oh, you mean blazing.
Blazing?
You said no races. And I was like, did you fucking get in a car? Oh my god, gross. Hate it. Never.
That's true. Cars only exist as a joke. The cars only exist for insurance fraud.
You did have to get in a car to drive it into a chop shop so that you could learn how
that it exists.
To modify vehicles. And I mean, there were advanced vehicle modifications, and I was like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Who's gonna buy the hack that gives all cars nitro? Who fucking cares? I have nitro. My feet have nitro. I fly with nitro.
I fly now! I'm sorry.
I fly now?
God, Saints Row 4 is so good. I'm big fan. Who knows what's next for them?
I still gotta play Gat Out of Hell. You think I want to do
Same.
that?
I hear there's great musical numbers.
We should play Gat Out of Hell. We bought it like 5 years ago. We should
Literally, that sentence was a meme that we did. Hey, let's play Gat Out of Hell.
Yeah, that's
and then we
true.
played anything else.
We played not that. Oh my god. Maybe we should.
Maybe we should. Maybe see us next year. Game of the decade. Gat Out of Hell.
Tonight we'll play some more Melee. My number 5, if that's where we are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my number 5. Oh, is this too early? Should I put this lower? What the fuck's wrong with me? My number 5, Spec Ops: The Line.
Ooh.
What have I done? Oh, it's too early. It's too good. Fuck.
Spec Ops: The Line. What a game.
Spec Ops: The Line's so good. One of those games that you play through one time, and you're probably a piece of shit if you play it through more. You're the ultimate piece of shit if you platinum/1000 point the game. A thing that I thought about doing
Yeah, for anybody that, you really just gotta, you just say like, are you happy with yourself? The game asks, we ask.
You ask literally what the game asks in Endgame.
You're like, do you even remember what you're doing here?
Do you understand what you're doing? Why are you doing this? Yeah, Fubar's, it was pretty hard. A couple missions I played. It's pretty hard.
What are the two guys' names? Adams and Rodriguez? Who was your favorite? Lugo.
Lugo and Adam / Rodriguez.
Nolan North?
There's Nolan North.
I'm glad that game existed, and I'm glad that I played it, and I'm glad that I suggested it to you and you played it too, and it's like we have this same sort of, I don't know. It was also at like the perfect time for, like, that was pretty much right as I was kind of falling out of playing Call of Duty.
Oh my god, that'd be just so perfect.
And then I was like, I don't want to play these war games
anymore.
anymore.
And then that one, it's in contrast with me, is that I'm still playing Call of Duty, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, but they're cartoony now. You get a jetpack.
I mean, yeah, at the very least, I do have a 2-round burst assault rifle.
It is really weird to think about, like, there's the very poignant scene in that game centered around white phosphorus. And we played a lot of Black Ops 1 where a kill streak is fucking napalm. Is just dropping napalm on people. Yeah. And that's fucked. Yeah, napalm, Agent Orange, that shit has really bad, like, people are still dealing with that shit. And it's like, you don't even think about it. You're just like, 5 kills, 6 kills now. And it's like, damn. Call of Duty, it's like unintentionally revisionist history, right? Because people are like, even if people who are playing it aren't actively thinking, well, of course, this isn't what actual Vietnam was like, or any military thing. But you can't help but think that it trivializes some of that stuff. And Spec Ops: The Line is like, let's not do that. None of this is trivial, but when you play it, it feels like it is.
Yeah.
And then it's like, fucking, did you see what we've been doing this whole time? And your characters are like, what the fuck is going on? And then you're like, I don't fucking know, man. I'm just trying to follow orders.
Yeah, then your character's like, well, there's a scary sniper.
Gotta find Conrad.
I gotta shoot for him, you know?
Spec Ops: The Line, spooky game.
Yeah.
That's a psychological horror game.
It really is. Please. Spec Ops. It's fucking great, guys.
Oh, do you remember when Jaeger, the developers of Spec Ops 2, were slated to develop Dead Island 2? Who knows where they went? Who knows where Dead Island 2's at?
Oh, what I would do to play Dead Island 2. I mean, the trailer was really fun.
Yeah, and then you play it, and then it's like, you fucking monster. Look at those zombies!
That was your friend! It just sounds like a later season of The Walking Dead, and that's just disgusting. You see that season 2 thing? Where's the girl? Oh, she was in the barn!
She was in the barn, that's right!
No! What have we
She's
done?
a zombie! No, Spec Ops is serious.
There's no fucking jokes about shitty AMC television shows. We're all serious. Please follow this up with Modern Warfare 3. That was the first one in the decade that was... That was like the end of you caring about Call of Duties.
It really was, yeah. No, it is. My number 4 is in fact not that. My number 4 is Mass Effect 2. I love Mass Effect 2.
Oh. Well, that's good.
I love the characters. The gunplay is like just pretty good. I kind of wish you could do like multiple biotics like in the first one.
So you wish that it was Mass Effect 1.
Just that aspect.
Just like that time you were driving that Mako and then all of a sudden you were in mission failure zone.
Just Is this fire? Yes. Lava. It's just instantly. It's just the camera scrolls out.
You're like, what?
What the fuck?
Nothing happened. Nobody shot me. It's just up here.
That did not happen in Mass Effect 2.
Instead, you just do that from outside of the planet. You shoot probes in there.
Probes. It's very satisfying. Thunk. Probe launched. You seeing the little spikes in the graphic, like, fuck, Element X? I haven't seen that ever. I need to throw it all in. Upgrade. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I never had that experience. Because I just had all of it, and I'm like, oh, more. Is this planet done? Okay, on to the next one. I was like a fucking dirty businessman. I'll go to these planets, and I will mine them for every resource I can, and then I'm done.
Get probed.
Get probed, stupid, cool-looking planet.
I think the reason that Mass Effect 2 is held up so high for me is just all about the characters. I really like the characters and the side missions and the stories and the intertwined politics with all of them. Morden, great character. Jacob, I don't care about him at all.
Like, that's literally what I was gonna say. Like, Jacob had a side mission that made me feel like, oh man, I'm here for you, buddy. And you're just like, whatever. He's like Cade.
I don't like Caden.
Sorry, Caden.
Just in comparison, Morden was cool. Grunt was cool. Thane was awesome. Garrus, my heart.
Yeah.
Garrus has my heart. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll get around to actually playing the DLC instead of just buying it and looking at it. But like, you know, it was I don't know. I mean, it was the first one that I played of that series. I went right into 2. It's, you know, it's weird to think about because Mass Effect 2 possibly had the weakest story of the trilogy. The end boss is just like a big humanoid-looking Terminator thing. It doesn't make any sense.
A thing, a part of the Reapers, whatever.
But everything surrounding that's great. The fact that it's a suicide mission, and it's like you choose your people, and it's like their real consequences, and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I get.
Yeah. There's real consequences for some of us.
You fucked that up, and
Yeah,
I don't
sure
mean
did.
to just keep bringing that back up, but it's like, you know, that was a really good
brought it
story
up.
moment, and it's like it was really interesting.
It would have been a real good story moment if I put the fucking robot in the vent. I'm sorry.
I hope you didn't have any connection with Tally.
Yeah, I hope I didn't put the person whose race created the robots in the fucking...
Why do you think they made the robots? To go in all the vents. Thane, I romanced Thane my second time. Thane is so cool. And it was so bad because it was like one time playing Mass Effect 3, I looked on the map in the Citadel and it was like, Thane's in the medical bay. It's like, fuck, I gotta find him. And then you just went there and he wasn't there. And I never saw him the entire game. It's like, well, what the fuck's the point? I miss my boy.
If only I would have pretended to even try to play Mass Effect 3, but I just... Like, this game's fucked. Already I can tell there's a drop in quality, and I'm like, I don't even want to bother.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why Mass Effect 2 is the one that persists. I mean, it has flaws. Everybody would say that, but every other one had much more glaring flaws. Mass Effect 1 is hard to play. Mass Effect 3 just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andromeda. That's a joke.
Yeah,
that's a punchline.
That's a big joke.
I don't know. I love Mass Effect 2. I love games where I build up a squad, I just make a bunch of great friends. That's what you did. And it was in space. Love me some space games.
I guess we're at 4. My number 4 is Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2. Remember when we were talking about Titanfall 2?
We were talking about Titanfall 2? Oh man, remember the good times? When you thought that was the 10th best game of this fucking decade?
I knew this was gonna happen.
Not the best Call of Duty of all of them.
What more is
what
there
am
to
I
say?
gonna fucking say? It's Titanfall 2. I had that game installed the entirety of that time. I don't think that I've put more time into a multiplayer game just because it was, alright, well, I got these guns. Make these guns a little bit higher level. You know what? it's making me better because I'm using stupid fucking weapons the whole time. I'm not just using my assault rifle, blah blah blah. Using my semi-automatic rifle, which is always my go-to. I'm making do with everything. I'm Swiss Army Call of Duty player, and I love it.
It has the best fucking grappling mechanics.
It
of anything.
has the best grappling mechanic ever. Eat your heart out, Spider-Man PS4. Get the fuck out of here. I don't even know what that game is. I am Spider-Man when I am playing fucking multiplayer, and it is just a time thing. It's literally, I just understand how this works. You'll watch me, and I'm just sprinting around, and I just look and throw it, and it's perfectly where I want to do it, and I'll jump. There's so many instances where I have saved me just jumping somewhere close to across an entire map because I've grappled something at a perfect point and jumped at the right spot.
I'd be willing to bet your grapple hooks, best in the business.
Oh my god.
The movement in that game is just so good.
It's so fluid.
It's hard to go to anything else because you're like, this is, it's sticky.
You don't want to. And like, I even tried with you because you were like, half the time I grapple, half the time I move really fast.
So, yeah, I just want to run because I can still wall run and double jump.
And I was like, all right.
And I use a submachine gun.
I'll try it here and there. And I was just like, but I could move just as fucking fast in that much distance if I know exactly the distance I can throw a grapple hook. It gets full fucking momentum, and I'll go farther.
You could grapple a grunt and kick him in the fucking head. Or a real person.
And half the time, I just look up at a spot, and then I start sprinting faster, and I'm like, oh, I don't have grapple. Whoops. I forgot. I put on a wall. My bad.
A wall.
Like, I mastered every Titan. I used every Titan up to level 10, in which I know every strategy and understood exactly what's perfect. And like, if I threw out a tier list of Titans, you got your crap Titans. Monarch fucking sucks. I appreciate that in the middle of the game's run, they added a Titan in. But she just sucks. She tries her best, but she has no defensive ability. She has a okay gun. The only thing she can do is just keep upgrading herself, and I mean,
she's unique.
She's unique, I guess. Legion, he's kind of slow. What are you gonna do with him? It's like your good Titans. You got fucking Ion. Ion's the Fox McCloud of the game. Ion is just fantastic. It's like, it's possible for you to just not take any fucking hits as Ion. Mm-hmm. If you're just conserving, you got a Legion at you, oh, big deal. Just stop your bullets. I don't fucking care.
Is there a pilot in the distance? Laser.
Yeah. I never got that accurate with that.
Well, that's a possibility though. It's better than shooting.
I could probably grapple a pilot from the distance more efficiently than I could laser a pilot. But that's true. It is efficient. And then you've got your niche situation guys. You've got fucking North Star. If you know you're just going to be away from everybody, you'll fuck shit up. Ronin is just great for sneaking up on people, and it's real fun.
I think Ronin is the Falco of the game because I liked playing as Ronin and died a lot.
That's kind of Ronin's thing, though. Ronin just dies a ton. North Star will die a lot if you're not smart about where you start as Ronin or North Star. Just start far away from me. Just use North Star at Homestead. Who's gonna get you? You basically are the intervention of Titans. You're over there. And then you got Scorch.
Scorch.
Who's good for absolutely every situation. He's the greatest thing that was ever made. You also got Tone for people who suck.
Tone if you don't really want to think about it.
Yeah, Tone if you just... I've had my troubles with Tone, though. Campaign's fucking wonderful. I did Becomes a Master twice, as opposed to Calvin's once. That's how much I fucking love the game.
Fucking amateur.
Is that I took my own extra 2 hours to do it again to relearn the tech, and oh my god, I thought it was just because I was like, I remember I was waiting for my girlfriend to get up, and I was just like, yeah, I'll just do this again. And then I got her the trophy.
Hell
So
yeah.
I was like, I'm like, you're never going to get this. If you want to get the platinum in this game, you're never going to do this. I can do it for you. And I'm sure I got the exact same time. And that's the time that you can get. I probably did better, but it was so funny because we were at the point where we were about to like leave and get lunch, and I was like, I just don't want to
so close.
lose my muscle memory, please. And then I got it like 2 tries.
Sometimes that's
I
how it
held
goes.
the grenade. I knew what I was doing.
It makes you wonder when there's going to be a game like Titanfall 2. Fuck Apex Legends.
I don't know. I'm afraid we're getting to that point. Don't say shit like that.
Yeah.
Apex Legends was.
It's not for me.
Was very good. I enjoyed it. It's not a game to play by yourself. I have no friends who played it, so I was like, well, that's fine.
I'm just jealous of its success over Titanfall. But I mean, I understand
That's
why it happened.
True. That's true. That sucks ass.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun to explain weapons to everybody.
There you go.
I remember when I started it, I was just like,
I know all of this.
He's holding a fucking L-Star. Oh my god. It's like even that. Some of the guns are just things you don't see in any other games. Fucking L-Star. It's just a fully automatic heavy laser gun. Don't shoot it too much, or uh-oh.
I like the lightning bolt. Thunderbolt.
Love the Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt
Like
is
the
the
Mastiff, which is
best
just a
shotgun.
shotgun.
Mastiff's fucking evil. I
Like
wish
the
I could use
alternator, because it's the one submachine gun that I use.
The alternator's pretty sick.
You know, it's funny. Like another equivalent of like our different philosophies on games. You used every Titan. You used every gun. I've used 2 Titans and like 5 guns, but it's still, you know,
When you found
that's
it.
enough.
And I mean, it's perfect. Because I mean,
It's all you need.
that, back to exactly what I said when this was number 10, was that there is no moment where you feel like the game let you down.
Yeah.
I fired bullets at that guy and he didn't die. It's my fault. It's not the game's fault. I should understand how the fucking game works. It's pretty fucking easy to know how much kills a person, and it's never just like that. Come on!
Yeah.
I just spawned! Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
It has that 1/8 as much as a Call of Duty.
And that's what really turned me off of Call of Duty is just the frustration points. It's just overpowering the oh yeah, that was awesome. I really showed it.
Yeah.
And in this game it's like even if I can't, you know, if I'm not doing that great, there are still things that I can do. I always feel like I can be productive. I always have options.
It's the easiest way to get headshots is on grunts. Oh my god, the moment I realized that you could fucking hack Spectres.
Heck, Spectres.
And I've made it my thing in fucking multiplayers that if Spectres show up, I want some friends.
And you're probably the only person that did that. But
I've
the fact
seen
that
it
you
before.
can. Oh shit.
I fucking seen it
Oh
once.
shit.
In my 33 regens, I've seen one time where there was somebody fucking hacking a Spectre.
Were they on your team?
No.
Oh
And that's
my
why
god.
it was amazing. I was just like, fucking good on you as I killed him. I'm like, those are my friends for right now. And what I like about hacking them is I think they're a little bit more effective. And every time I get a kill with a Spectre, I'm like, that's fucking hype. That's so awesome. You'll get a pilot down to 20%, they fucking shotgun you, and then all of a sudden they just get punched by your Spectre, and you're like, yeah! My friends, my boys, they're there for me.
Do you think that counts as an assist with your assault rifle? Or
No,
whatever your primary
but you will get credit for... I'm pretty sure Spectres use Mastiffs, so you do get Mastiff credit.
Oh my god.
You do get gun credit for the gun they use.
Insane.
This game,
I love it.
It thought of it. It thought of it all. I could talk about Titanfall
Beautiful.
2 forever.
Beautiful.
Though, you know, I've been short. Because let's move on. You know, we'll talk about Titanfall 2 next decade. You know,
I'm sure we will.
3, a game that they weren't allowed to make that they'll put next to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
No, it's just going to be called Modern Warfare again.
This. See, I'm thinking that
Modern
Call of
Warfare.
Duty Modern Warfare 3 is the 2-time sequel to the 2019 Activision Classic Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
I can't wait for...
They're just going to renumber them. Just keep going.
It's got to be Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 3. Speaking of 3,
Oh,
number 3,
is
Witcher 3.
that's actually a 3.
It's a 3. So many
Fuck
3s.
yeah.
I love the 3s. I love Witcher 3. It's the only Witcher game I've played. But, you know, I talked about it on 2015?
And
Did I talk about it a second time? Oh, yeah, the Platts.
what?
That's right.
Crossbow?
Great game.
Great weapon.
I mean, it's good for things in the sky because it makes them not be in the sky.
That's true. You know what? If it's gonna stun something, it's a pretty effective use.
But you know, a lot like with Mass Effect 2, it had a really compelling story, really interesting lore, and the world it was building, and the sort of politics and the inner societal sort of perspectives that were presented, with everybody sort of seeing you as an outsider, but sort of needing you to do all these jobs that were either under them, but at the same time, you know, they wanted their kids to stop dying from monsters, so I guess I'll get this guy that we hate and is subhuman. But you know, all that's great because it creates these moral dilemmas with people, and for the most part, you can sort of understand where, at least for the more extensive side missions, everyone talks about the Bloody Baron side mission, which is like a whole thing. It's like you're trying to find your daughter, and on the way, you're like, this guy has information, and then he tells you the information, and then he says, hey, by the way, do you think you could help me with this? And it's like this whole tree of like other things, and it's bringing you all over the world, and you're like, fuck, I hate this guy, and then by the end, you're like, he's like BoJack. Maybe not the same, but like a similar sort of situation where you're like, I can kind of understand where he's going for. I see him more as a character instead of just this guy that drinks and shouts at people. It was really sort of interesting, compelling all the way through. I loved traveling around, doing things for people. The Witcher sense is kind of stupid, but you know, it really sucked me in, and for 100 hours, 200 hours, however long it took me to play through the game twice and through the DLCs, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the lore, I'm here for the story. I'll read the first 2 books of short stories. Let's do it. And it's like, yeah, I again, you know, you continue it on, you learn these characters that, I mean, they're not in your party the entire time you're alone, but it's like, yeah, I love when I would see somebody from earlier on, they show up and I was like, Dandelion's here, Gwent, I love me some card games in larger games.
In larger games, not as their own standalone game.
I tried it.
Well, there you go. That's what I said. You don't want to play it by itself. Are you kidding me?
I wonder what it is about that. I think it's because as a game on its own, it wanted to be more than just the sub game, and so it's like, let's throw out these more rules. Let's make more interesting sort of things. Let's add puzzles where you only have 2 turns to sort of resolve this thing, and it's like you got to play the cards in just the right order and figure out the exact right thing. Probably as like this can teach you to strategize for later. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to throw down my thieves and steal their cards. I just want more cards. I want to throw down more cards and win. I want to bet 500 coins and then get 1,000 coins from this merchant that's fucking worthless.
Trying to feed his family.
I don't care. It's time to
Gwent.
Gwent. Oh god.
My kids are starving.
Listen, man. If you can't pay, then you have to give me your firstborn son. I'm sorry. It's just the way that it is. They're gonna be a Witcher. It's a wonderful world, and it's a great twist on a lot of, like, you know, medieval and fairy tale mythological things. You're like, oh, shit, some of the stuff that you're fighting is absolutely wild. Some of the things that you're up against are just absolutely disgusting and horrifying. You're like, I want to kill this thing. I want this thing to stop existing. Even though I'm supposed to be like this stoic, sort of emotionless gun for hire, there are those times where you're like, even if it's framed in a way that's not personal, I'm invested in it, and it's taking me in all these great, interesting scenarios. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure if you've probably heard enough of it, there's no way that people haven't heard the praise for Witcher 3 at this point, but it's well deserved. And even if you didn't play the first or second one, which I didn't, you can and still enjoy this one. Matt got around to playing it, loves it. I still don't know if you would like it, but
Okay.
you can keep it in the back of your head though. If at any time you're like, you know what, I want to try one of these. Don't give me that look.
I'm not giving you that look. I'm just trying to think. You're like 2042?
Around the time Cyberpunk 2077 comes out.
Around the time
Around 2077, you'll think, you know what, maybe I will go back and play The Witcher 3.
Perfect. At age 85. I think that is exactly the time. I won't be able to identify my own name, but...
You'll have no idea what the cards are.
I remember this video that me and Calvin made in 2020 talking about Witcher 3 again. I think I should get around to that.
You ever heard of YouTube?
Yeah. What's your name, grandson?
Google?
Cookie 20?
Cookie 20?
My number 3 is so topical. You know how convenient that is and how topical it could be that in 2020 we're making a best games of the decade list, and I'm talking about The Last of Us?
How did it happen?
Oh my goodness, that's so weird. Alright, so let's talk about that other game. Last of Us 2, you know that game? Which one's better? Last of Us. I don't think that's controversial. Here's your differences, and this is what's stuck with me, as I just completed Last of Us 2, I think it was last week. Here's your major differences. In your First of Us, you have, it's more of a survival game.
Okay.
Last of Us 2 is more of an action game, kind of.
Okay.
Because I would like to think that on my second playthrough of Last of Us, and on my first playthrough of Last of Us 2, I played them on the same difficulty.
Uh-huh. Which was hard?
Hard, yes. Second highest difficulty.
Sure. Fair.
There was, I think, one moment in Last of Us 2 where I was like, oh shit, this is hard. I'm annoyed with how hard this is. Damn it. Last of Us 1, that's like the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. You definitely feel this strain of resources.
And here's the thing. It's like Last of Us 2, you get like a checkpoint upon a stealth kill in the middle of an encounter. So if you can manage to get everybody to forget where you are, but on alert, and then you stealth kill, well, you killed that guy. So you can get back out there and die again. Last of Us is, here's a room.
Get them all. Or
Get them all, or get none. That's it. You don't have a choice. If you die in this, you're going to restart at the beginning of the room, and you're going to do it again. And we know you know how to do it by now, so just get back in that fucking room and do it. And that is so much more captivating than Last of Us 2. It's this game where all of your movements and your shooting and everything is so precise in a way that you can't just get up, run, and be fine. You have to think about everything that's fucking happening in front of you, and that's the gameplay. It's like, don't fuck up. You're gonna kill that guy, you better make sure nobody else can see him. You're gonna do this, you better make sure that you can handle the fucking repercussions.
Well,
Too many times in Last of Us 2, what would happen is that I would fuck up, and I would be able to handle myself with my guns just fine, because I got so much fucking ammo, and I've scavenged enough that I'm like, it's all fine. My guns are upgraded, it's all fine. I can say that I got like triple the number of rooms that I was able to get past stealth.
Well, here's what I want to know is what are your emotional takeaways from the story? Obviously, more people talk about the emotional impact in the story and the characters more so than the gameplay. So what's the difference?
Yeah. It's not even comparable, is the easiest thing to say, is that you get so connected with Joel and Ellie in the first game. You build this relationship with these two characters that, like, there's nothing else like it. It's that cinematic experience put into a video game. And a lot of people say that there's none of that, and that, you know, you get your perfect cinematic writing in movies and not in games. And that game does it as good as anything. It's like watching the excitement people got for the first season of Walking Dead, the TV show, where it was like, oh my god, this is great. There's actual consequences. There's no outside factor letting you know what's going to happen. And that's part of the reason why I'm perfectly fine with Last of Us 2's story. The story of Last of Us 2 is great. I liked it. I enjoyed it. No spoilers, everything that was there, I liked where it was. I liked where it went. Is The Last of Us 1? No, it's not. But that was massive shoes to fill.
Yeah, it's like...
Let's be fair. I didn't buy this game on the offshoot. Like Tyler said, I talked to him about it. He hasn't played it yet, but he said Last of Us was a perfect experience. Why do you make a sequel of that? But they changed it. They did something different. Last of Us 1, I don't disagree with it in any way. It did exactly what it needed to do. It was perfect. Now you say why you didn't like it, you stupid idiot.
Last of Us isn't on my list for a handful of reasons. It was one of those games where it's like, I feel like my disposition with how I play games and how I view games really inhibited my enjoyment of it, because I would have rather just watched somebody play through and not miss anything. I was just frustrated every time that I messed something up, and I was just like, I want to keep... I don't care about this gameplay. I just want to see the interactions. I want to hear like Joel and Ellie talk with each other. I don't want to die to a clicker and have to play this again, because that means it's longer until I can get to the next cutscene. I really don't care that much about walking through and doing all this stealth stuff and killing the zombies. I just want to see the next cutscene. That's pretty much what it boiled down to. And the amount of times that I, died, or I messed up, or, I wasn't expecting something, and, every single one of those times, it took me out of the moment from, I'm in this world and I'm enjoying these characters and what's going on, to, I am Calvin, I am playing a video game. And I didn't like how often that was happening, and it was too jarring for me.
You didn't like the ending.
It's not that I didn't like the ending, but because it's hard for me to sort of sum up my opinions on it, and because I don't feel strongly about some of the ways, it's, very ambiguous to a point, like on purpose, it just left me without closure, and I didn't like that. I didn't want that, Even at the end of like Spec Ops, I was like, fuck, this was a treacherous journey that we went through, but it's done, and I'm done. And at the end of that, I'm like, ugh, everything still sucks. Cool. It's like Game of Thrones. That's what I said before.
Yeah.
It's like, the reason why I stopped watching Game of Thrones is not because it got bad season 7 and 8 or whatever. It's just because I was like, at some point I was like, I don't want to keep seeing all the people I like die. I just don't have it in me for that. Let's play fun games. Let's have fun. Let's play Saints Row 4 and laugh. I'll watch BoJack. That's enough.
Yeah, now HBO is going to pick up Last of Us.
Oh, is that real? Is this a joke?
No.
What does that mean?
That was real. Apparently they're going to make a series. Like, what? Huh? Excuse me? Why do we keep doing this?
Hey, did you hear they're doing an Uncharted movie or series? The Halo movie series? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Enter the Gungeon? Movie series? Like...
Remember Machinima?
Who fucking cares? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, right.
Stupid.
I mean, it's... Yeah.
Last of Us it just stands on its own. It's just one of those things where you're like...
There's no purpose to make it more.
There's no purpose to affect or to try and build off of it or make something weird.
It's like making a TV show out of BioShock.
Yeah. Sorry. I enjoyed Last of Us 2. But Last of Us 1 is the reason for Last of Us 2. And it's great. That's why we all bought it. And 90% of people got pissed off. But I was not one of those people, and I love Last of Us 1.
No, that's good. And by the way, Last of Us 2, ineligible, came out this year.
That's true. Oh, shit. All right, just think of everything that I've said on my list as -1. And as we get in there, I'll think of something. You do your number 2. I'll think of something. I'll be over here. You talk now.
All right, my number 2 is everyone's favorite 150-hour journey with friends and the power of friendship. It's Persona 5. Everyone's favorite Persona game. Well, maybe not. It's actually not. There's pretty heated debate. But it's so good. It's so good. I mean, like I said with Mass Effect, love me a game where I'm just gathering a group of friends and hanging out. And half the game is hanging out. And the other half is fighting with your friends. Just punching demons in the face.
But that's not in space.
It is not in space, but it is in Japan.
Oh my god.
I've been to Japan.
It might as well be space.
It's just, I don't know. And I played Persona 5 Royal, came out this year. So I'm not going to talk about it too much. That was just sort of a series of quality of life improvements. I say it was a director's cut. It kind of streamlined some stuff. But, just playing through Persona 5 the first time, it was just, even though I played through Persona 4, I never got around to beating it. I only played half of it. But, it was just, damn, okay, next day, let's do it. What's next? What are we doing? Oh, who am I gonna meet next? What's the next chapter of this person's life? And it was just, every time that it was like, cutscene, dialogue, even if it wasn't voice acted. If it was, that's a plus. Thought everybody's voice actor was, mostly great, except for some of the weird side characters. But I love my crew, the Phantom Thieves, or as I named them, Hoobastank.
Hoobastank?
Definitely not. That would be such an embarrassment.
We Hoobastank.
It would just, somebody, whoever your target is, they would receive a letter that says, "We're coming to steal your heart," signed Hoobastank. And they say, "Who are these Hoobastank fellas?"
This Hoobastanks!
Dun, 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 dun. Oh my god. But, it's weird because it has some, like, weird flaws. Like, it loves explaining itself over and over and over. And it's like, you'll come to a conclusion like, oh shit, I think this is how this is going to tie together. And then, like, 3 days later in the game, they're like, hey, how do you think this ties together? Well, do you think it's like this? No, I think it's like this. Hey, that makes a lot of sense. I do think it's like this. Let's prove it. And you're like, I figured this out. I already know this. But at the same time, you're like, but it's cool. I do like the way that they're all connected. And I think it's a really good commentary on some modern society, because the premise of this story is that you have these people in very powerful positions that are corrupt and doing things very selfishly, up to the point where the populace is completely enamored by this one person who's gonna shake up the system. He's got to be the new Prime Minister of Japan, and he's nothing like anyone before. He's gonna come in and he's gonna wipe out everyone, all the corruption in there before. And it's like, but he's really just incredibly selfish and is doing it all for himself, and he has obscene amounts of power, but it's not what people want to hear. Nobody wants to be presented with these difficulties and have to sort of face them themselves. It's a lot easier to just like push it off to somebody else, to point at something and say, you know what, this is what I read. Hoobastank are the real bad guys. I want this guy in Parliament. And it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's funny that you say that. I would have never seen something like that happening in this current state of affairs.
That's weird. It's almost like some kind of social commentary.
Yeah, and I'm just like, as that was unraveling, you know, it just starts off as a bunch of kids fighting injustices in high school, and then it's like getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you're like, fuck, man, it's all like this, isn't it? And then at the end, it's like, but the power of friendship, right, can solve everything. I'm like, fuck yeah, I want friends. All my friends give me energy, and I give them energy, and it makes it all that much easier.
This Prime Minister Huba stinks.
Exactly.
And I will give you the reason to see.
This country has been going in the same direction. Not anymore.
Right in my heart.
Persona 5 is so good. I love me some anime. I love the anime cutscenes that it has. Actual 2D shit.
Yeah.
Alongside the actual in-game pre-rendered cutscenes.
Those are really good. I've seen those.
It's wild. They made an anime, like an actual anime series based off of it, and heard it's not very good.
Oh. Ouch.
Game's great, music great, characters, love them. Can't get them out of my head. Can't get the music out of my head. Maybe I'll get that on vinyl one of these days. Even if there is only one battle theme and one boss battle theme.
I thought you were gonna get Huba Stank on vinyl. Oh my god, what am I doing?
You know, I love Huba Stank, can't get him out of my head.
It's like, oh, gross. That album has 1.5 good songs on it. I wonder if you can guess if they were the ones that we already brought. You know what? I got one of them. Unaffected, pretty alright song. I'm the only person who can name another song off that album that's not the one I put on a top 100 and the one song that everyone knows.
I should have named my protagonist Doug Robb instead of Captain Falcon, which is what I named him the last time I played.
Doug Robb and
so everyone's like, this is your new student. Would you like to introduce yourself? Hi, I'm Captain Falcon. Everyone says, so have you met up with Falcon Coon? Anyways, I love it. I think I totally recommend people to play it. I mean, it's a huge commitment. Would play it again. And I did play it again this year. And I would play it again.
Wow. That's great. Proud of you. Keep playing that game, man.
I'll just keep playing.
If you can play it for me once, I'll put it on my list. You'll be like, my number 2 is Persona 5 as played by Calvin. Now, this was interesting to me. There was some weird impression that this game didn't actually come out in the 2010s. But guess what? My number 2 is Infamous 2. Came out in 2011.
Holy shit. Yeah,
Not even on the edge. Not even 10. It was a year in. Infamous 2 came out in 2011. Yeah.
What a game.
Oh, man. Fans, topical. Sucker Punch released their 4th game in the last 10 years.
Yeah?
Last week. We've got Infamous 2. We got Infamous Second Son. Infamous First Light.
That was kind of an expansion.
They made 3.5 games.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
I said the right number.
Yeah.
They made 3.5 games in the last 10 years for fucking good reason. Infamous 2, you know me, I don't play games as much as you do. You've probably played Persona 5 more than I've played this one singular game.
It's a very long game.
What, Infamous 2?
No, Persona 5.
Exactly. You played Persona 5 through more times than I've played Infamous 2, and I'm more willing to say that Infamous 2 is my second favorite game of all time, not just the decade. And it's just one of those deals where you play Mass Effect 1 versus Mass Effect 2, and you're like, wow, this is better. Wow, this is better. Just imagine, though, if instead of saying, well, no biotics, all of my biotics, just imagine if you took Infamous 1 and you're just like, everything's improved.
Yeah, across the board.
Everything except for the voice actor. That's it. That's the only thing, is that they changed the voice for Cole, and you're like, what? Why? He sounded perfect. Now he sounds like Billy, but gruff. It's like, what the fuck? Why'd you do that? Other than that fucking story, it puts its fist into your chest and rips it out both times.
Yeah.
Good or bad. Infamous games kind of got pushed out of the way.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares about Infamous. They're like, what, Uncharted's? Yeah, that's like the greatest game ever. I always compare Infamous and Uncharted because those were the first two series that I played together on PS3. Like, Infamous is just one of those games I want remastered because I'd love to fucking play it again. It's been long enough. It's just deep cut into my soul. This was the first time that I decided that there was a game that was better than NBA Street Volume 2. And, I mean, even coming to that conclusion was just mind-blowing to me because that game was perfect. But did I fucking cry when I heard the Eagle on that GB2 dunk?
Did you fucking cry that that Shaq goaltended you?
Did I cry that time
20
Lewis
times in a row?
Did I cry that time I beat Lewis with the Golden State Warriors and he was in their peak Lakers? Even that's sad. Thanks, 2020. It just... I don't know. It was even like just the first... It just connected to me where I was just so invested in the characters because I played Infamous 1. And I enjoyed Infamous 1 and then... What have I said this 3 times in this one time? And then you go into Infamous 2 and you're like, whoa. How is everything better? How did they do that? They made everything so much more fluid, so much more enjoyable. I really liked the characters. I liked what everybody was struggling with the entire time. It's like you got your FBI lady who's like, these power things are bad. And then she gets abducted by the bad guy and receives powers. And she's like, whoa, now I got powers. Ho, 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 ho. Powers are fun. And then you got, like, the evil power lady who lives in New Marais who's like, well, I got my minions. They're like, I'm doing things for the wrong reasons, but I'm just protecting my people. It's really cool. Like, that's what...
And then you got Zeke.
And then you got your fucking main man, Zeke.
Zeke, always there for you.
Always there. I don't know why.
He believes in you, man.
He just believes in you.
He's got so much heart.
Even though big spoilers. Oof. And that's what's incredible is that this game... That's why I like Second Son so much is that they could not have made a sequel with... They could not have made an Infamous 3.
Yeah.
Because Infamous 2 was... Oh... all over.
I always think about that. I think it's really interesting that Infamous 1 ended pretty much saying, there will definitely be an Infamous 2. And then Infamous 2 is like, there will not be an Infamous 3. This is it. Our story has completed in 2 games.
I'll say what I said a long time ago. I recommend playing Infamous 1 through one time for the love of God. Don't play it more than once. Don't go for the platinum. Fucking hate yourself. Play it through once so you understand the story. You'll be connected to those characters. Then play Infamous 2. And then the fucking reveal in Infamous 2, which the reveal is not the endings. It's a different reveal. The reveal means nothing if you don't play Infamous 1. But if you play Infamous 1, you're like, oh, shit. That's insane. I didn't see that coming. Infamous 2 is really good. I should play it again. That's it. That's all it is. I should just play it again.
Fair enough.
And you should play it once, viewer. Calvin already played it. He said it was like the number 7 best game of 2015. It really broke my heart there, you know?
It was pretty good. I'm sorry. I don't like doing that.
Breaking my heart?
All right. Honorable mention time. We got four quick ones.
Yeah.
God. Well, I'll try to keep it a little short.
You're implying that we're taking people's time or something? What are you talking about?
Fair enough.
Hey, you clicked the video. You're still watching, so thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, I love you for being in this far. Thank you.
Okay, first honorable mention. It's Paladins.
Hey, all right.
Fucking Paladins is so weird. I honestly thought about having it be a real thing, but It's got so many fucking bugs. It barely works.
But
It's so fun.
it's a lot better.
It is better.
It is much better than when I got hooked, and it was a mess. Well, not even when I got hooked. Like, when I started, it was a wreck. It's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to be one of those people in the world who can say that they have every champion without buying the fucking champion pass.
I don't even have every champion.
But you
I don't
played
even
on
close.
2 accounts.
That's true. I have played on 2 accounts. My Tyra, my Molotovs, best in the business. I've played so much Tyra and a few other people, but it's got characters that I like, so much unique characters and different ways to play them. And I think everyone's always going to make the comparison to Overwatch, but I don't think it's fair for a handful of reasons. One, you lock in your character for the entire game. You can buy items that help offset annoying characters, like reduce crowd control, increased healing from, received healing, that sort of thing.
Decrease straight damage.
Yeah.
Like, if their team's just got so much output, you can actually counter it.
Yeah. And even with the characters that you pick, each of them, the class system and the loadout, I think, is ingenious. Yeah. The differences that you can do with your characters, that freedom is just missing in Overwatch. Yeah. And it's just having that ability and, like, facing against somebody that absolutely crushes you with Leanne. You're like, how did they do this? How is she always getting another shot? And then you take a look at their loadout and then you just take it. And you're like, okay, well, now I can try that. I play as Maldamba. I throw the snake. Every time it lands, a hands up. It's the greatest thing in the world. Oh, man.
You can turn one character into a completely different character based on a talent and loadout that you choose.
Yes.
And like, my main one is Pip.
Pip
It's just like, well, my goal is I'm a healer. Okay, well, I'll shoot you with the feet, and it's fine. I got my class that gets me a healing potion. The more people I hit, the more efficient I can get it. Or I could just be explosive flask. You hit people, it just hurts them a fuck ton the more you hurt them with shots. So it's like, okay, well, now I'll just have a class that emphasizes eliminations. And it's just, I get all my shit back the more people I kill. And I can, because now I have a completely different... It's truly, Paladins is the better game.
I love it.
And we're both going to say that as 2 people who both platinumed Overwatch and neither have platinumed Paladins because it's impossible. We will literally say that, Paladins is the better game. Paladins is the more fun game.
For sure.
It's got more legs. I played it so much more. And that was one of my honorable mentions. And I'm very happy that I'm just going to skip that one now. So, my first honorable mention is my favorite puzzle game that I played from this decade. It's Talos Principle.
Talos, our favorite character in Paladins, he got his own spin-off puzzle game. Sorry,
just
continue.
like, what's the Talos one that I always thought was said by Vivian?
Birthright. This is my birthright.
This is my birthright. I thought it was Ash. And it's Talos, but my birthright is to put down things that freeze electronical things that'll shoot me. And my birthright is to put boxes on the ground so I can step up. My birthright is that my relative made it to the end of the world.
Oh my god, that's
and
right!
Made a fucking... helped develop a fucking computer AI system. Talos Principle, decade. Games that do things that other games haven't done. Philosophy, baby.
Dude, it has the best character that you never see.
Oh,
I loved every time it got to that terminal. That time when it gave you a readout of like a personality test, and it was purposefully vague, but that sort of thing that can apply to anybody. It's like I knew that was happening, but I was reading through it. I'm like, I could see myself in this, and that was the point. So good.
Yeah. It's just one of those games where you can sit down and think, and it's also one of those games where, of course, you feel the maximum amount of accomplished every time. That whoopsie daisies, I figured out to hop myself over this crazy block wall when there's like 4 things that I need to use. It's crazy what it does.
Yeah.
In terms of, here's the couple things you can do. Now let's see how we can combine that and make you get farther into a game and farther and farther. And I mean, I will always cherish that. Just that one time I played Talos Principle start to finish. It's just a great game.
Yeah. All right, my next one is Undertale. Undertale.
Oh, cool. I don't need to talk about Undertale now.
No way.
That was one of my low honorable mentions. For the record, we had a list of 9 honorable mentions apiece, but we've settled on 4. That was like my number 8 honorable mention.
Undertale is really good. Undertale. Yes. I mean, it's a weird thing to be on the outside of, because it's like, obviously I really like Undertale, but it's not on the list. It's not on the list proper, and I know a lot of people would rightfully put it there because it does everything right.
Yeah.
It's also a very funny game with a very serious, heartfelt story that's engaging and different, and the music is amazing, and every single battle that you have is different and dynamic, and it changes, and green means clean, and so many good moments. I just want a shirt
that fucking says green means clean. That was my fucking favorite quote from that entire stupid game. It's just that one of the first enemies just says green means clean, and you can heal yourself at your fucking window.
It's so great.
But combine your fucking music with your fucking emotional development of the game. It's just literally, I still listen to Your Best Nightmare still, and I fucking feel emotional every time I just listen to that song. Mm-hmm. And it's not even me seeing what's happening on the screen. It's just, I remember that moment and just what it was to play that game and feel so helpless yet so determined at the same time.
Yeah.
And that game fucking towed that line so well from start to finish.
And it's also just a great example of like a game that's just like, you know what? It doesn't have to be about violence. It's really easy. Well, It's not really easy, but there's always an option. You can always do something. And it's woven into the narrative, and it builds off of that. And it's really compelling. The entire time it's like, you don't have to do this. And you're like, but it's hard. I don't know how.
Or hear me out. It could be all about violence. And then you could have either the Spec Ops The Line Doki Doki psychological horror error, or
ending.
Psychological horror angle. You could feel that. Or you could,
It's a game where you make all sorts of good friends, and then some of those friends date, and it's very cute. Very, very
Put those
fun.
coins into the dog's shrine. Get that platinum. It's very fun. Much better than... This game was one step above Telltale games in difficulty for platinums. But you guys sat there and watched me do it. That's what was really fun.
I was down.
For me, is that I was just like, let's see what happens every time.
What's gonna add to the room?
What's gonna happen? Oh my god, he got a record player, and you can make it faster. And I think we sat there for like 30 minutes until we were like, okay, it's not getting any faster. Honorable mention number 2 is my second favorite. No. I would say my second favorite sandbox game of the year, but I have a lot of fucking open world sandboxes. Infamous 2 is a sandbox, you stupid idiot. It's Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
A fucking game that pioneered its own way. I'm going to talk about Last of Us 2 again. A lot of Last of Us 2 feels inspired by Horizon Zero Dawn.
Interesting.
Because of a grass mechanic. Where it's like,
okay,
I'm going to hide in grass that's this tall. Nothing can see me when I'm hiding in grass this tall. Last of Us 2 is like, well, humans are humans, so if they're close enough and you're in grass that tall, they're going to fucking see you. But, like, Horizon Zero Dawn, what it did was that story I fucking loved.
Yeah, I really liked it too.
It's just like, damn, that was great sci-fi.
I was always very interested in the next chapter. Unlike in Saints Row 4, I was like, no, I want to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Sci-fi, really interesting, very captivating to understand their take on the world. And then stealth mechanics that are very, very important because everything will kick your ass in a heartbeat. If you just go and gun-ho. You had to always plan. It was just one of those, like, sensible sandboxes that had just the right number of long necks walking around, make me go over there. It had just the right number of corruption zones. It was in itself like a perfect experience just to have.
Yeah.
Just to go through the platinum, get every side mission, just do it.
Just do everything. And then you're like, this is it. I've done everything, and I feel very satisfied.
I've done everything. I enjoyed it. It was super enjoyable. I never have to come back.
The rope gun was great.
The rope caster is very important to your gameplay. It's great.
Really satisfying.
I'm just saying this because I think I played Frozen Wilds for like 30 minutes. I was like, I'm
not feeling it.
Like even in there, because my save was basically right before the last boss, and there's a character who's like, Aloy, you want to help us save the world? Or and she's like, no, I have to find out. I don't care what you say to me. I'm just like, oh.
Weird.
Uh-oh. This isn't important, is it? But yeah, I would highly recommend the base game.
Agreed.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, fucking phenomenal game.
All right. Next honorable mention for me is Terraria. Terraria is a great game.
Let's not.
Okay, well, you shut up. Terraria is the game that people look at and they say, oh, it's just 2D Minecraft. But then it's very, very quickly not that anymore.
I don't say that. I just say, damn it, eyes. Please. I just want to live.
Just want to live. I mean...
But I played it on a fucking console, and that's the problem.
Yeah, just for some reason, it exists on console, and it's like, everybody's just like, yeah, well, at some point, you just can't play it anymore. Once you get halfway through, the game just stops working. And I'm like, that shouldn't be like that. Maybe it's different if you're not on multiplayer, but then what's the point? It's so fun with multiplayer.
Yeah, it was... I, for sure, had a ton of fun when there were a group of us.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it was 3 or 4, whatever group we made. I had great fun. And then I tried to be the leader and play it on my own, and it did not go well. And it scarred the game. But it's so cheap.
Yeah.
It's fine, whatever.
It's got... And similar to Enter the Gungeon, it really does just have so much content to it. And it's like the gameplay loop, or the main objective of the game, which is just upgrading your gear and finding cooler things and being able to craft cooler things or make things that make you better. And you get a grappling hook, or you get shoes that make you run really fast, or you get wings or a jetpack, and you have guns. You have a snowball gun. You're running out of ammo? Just go to the snow world and dig up snow. You don't want to use the bow and arrow? Fine. Use the snowball gun. Or use a normal gun. Or use a sword that shoots out, like, magic bolts.
Oh, man, I had, like, a boomerang.
The boomerang, yeah.
That was fucking awesome.
Like, yeah.
That thing shredded. Yeah, against a wall. I'd be, like, 1 inch from a wall, and I'm like, what are you gonna do?
There's, like, 5 skeletons all kind of slowly moving, and you're, like, slowly hitting one and pushing them back, like, a foot one at a time. Oh, my God. And then you die, and you're like... Somebody help me, come down to my grave with me. I have nothing. I want to get all my items. Or all my coins.
All my boomerang.
God.
It's not a bad game. It was bad circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been fun not on console.
Yeah, and I swear, I think I got it on sale, and I think every time it goes on sale, it's $250. That game for $250, it's wild.
It's on sale like that on console, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Terraria, great game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. My third honorable mention is Paladins, but my fourth honorable mention is Duck Game!
Duck Game! Oh my god, Duck Game.
The same thing as Duck Game was on a list 3 years ago, and yet we still have new friends, new people come over, and we fucking put on Duck Game.
It's so good.
Because it's so good, it's so accessible, it's so fun, and it has moments every time. You are guaranteed to just have that fucking moment where you and one other guy's the last person alive, and you got a grenade launcher, and you fucking kill yourself, and they manage to get that +1 a millisecond before they've fallen off the edge.
Yeah, or before they turn into a burnt chicken.
Or they
Cooked
have
chicken.
been set on fire because somebody at some point shot a gas tank. There's just so many layers to such a simple game.
Yeah.
Fucking slow gun. Fucking portals.
I love the ice that you can slide on.
The
with
sliding
the ramps. The slide
ice
is
with
so
the
good.
ramps. The fucking level with all of the musical instruments. Where we have to take a full 5 minutes for everybody to pick up an instrument and just try to play fucking Herbie Hancock every time. I always go to Herbie Hancock. It's so perfect.
What a great game. Even the single player stuff is good. The arcade shit?
Yeah, the arcade shit is so good where it's like, alright, try and kill as many ducks as you can with the slow gun, and there's portals going out each edge. Try your best to not get yourself in a way where you can't manage to continuously dodge, and it's just like, ping, 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 ping. There's just ducks dying all over the place, and you're just looking where you are like, oh god, beams, big squares,
Tiny
get me.
cubes, tiny cubes.
Oh no, they're moving so slow.
The chainsaw race?
Fucking chainsaw race. The chainsaw level, all the there's just random levels. There's one that's just 2 of those fucking ice slides, and there's a fucking rocket launcher at the top, and there's magnums where you can shoot through a small hole.
The one that's all the springs and the swords.
Oh my god, the spring sword was. I always just throw swords in there, and I'm just like, nobody's gonna get to me. I'm up here. I threw fucking swords in the spring thing. There's the one with the slow movers, and you just gotta jump up really quick.
Yeah. It's like,
and it's always the person who jumps up really quick gets that gun, but then always lands on one of the fucking beams.
The time that you forgot you have shoes and you land on someone's head, throw the rock, it slips off, and someone's climbing up.
It's infinite moments. The game, it's just dynamic moments from a game where you pick up a gun and it's a one-shot kill.
Mm-hmm. The game's in, the game's out, and you're like, okay, next.
Yeah, next. Let's keep going. Yep. Something amazing's gonna happen. You ready? It's Duck Game, baby.
Fucking Duck Game. All right, my last honorable mention goes to Night in the Woods. This was pretty much in competition with Beginner's Guide. Which one's gonna make it to the list? Depends on when you ask me. Night in the Woods just has so much going for it, and it's obviously going for something very different. But it's just a very, very, very compelling story about, I don't know, fucking coming of age drama. Somebody who realizes it's fucking hard being an adult. It's the worry of video games. It has so many memorable moments, memorable characters, so many relatable things, you know? You go to a mall and you talk about, wow, I remember when this mall was busy. Now it's like barely existing and everything's gone. You live in a small town that's like slowly becoming more and more irrelevant.
Oh god, stop.
It's like, fuck. And then you're talking with some of the people and they're like, I feel left behind by the system. And you're like, I don't fucking doubt it, dude. I'm sorry. My heart goes out. And then you get jammed with your friends in a band.
Yeah.
And you're chatting with your old friends, going to parties and getting drunk and
We're done with this. I'm gonna fucking play this game. I swear. I have to get around to it. It's on that fucking short list of games we've talked about that I want to get to. I have to fucking get to Night in the Woods.
Mm-hmm. It's worth it. Everyone, I think it's worth it. Give it a try.
Join me, man. And my last honorable mention, it's that fucking turn-based combat game, the one that revolutionized my life. It's fucking Pit People.
Pit People, that's right.
And I mean, I'd love to play Battle Block again, but fucking Pit People was that game that I put 45 hours into, and I fucking cleared that entire map of everything on permadeath because I just had that much fun. Because it just offers that different change of pace, that fucking perfect behemoth comedy that you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
The customization in that art style that you just fucking love looking at.
Very unique. Nothing else is like that.
No, it's just
and if things are like that, you're like, this is weird. This looks knockoff.
Yeah. It looks knockoff to Behemoth. It's Behemoth style that's so good. And then even like when they design it like that, then they made these items that are silly. There's like this exploding anchor fish item that's just, it's so good where it just does crazy damage and it just explodes. Sometimes on the Cyclops himself. But it's fine. It's fucking 26 damage per swing. And that's like, what, 3/4 of a cupcake's health? Like, fuck yeah, here I fucking come.
Just that sentence, that imagery. Very Behemoth.
Very Behemoth would sound very wrong if it was not Behemoth, but that's the game, man.
Yeah.
Cupcake's your healer. In your turn-based game, you put him out there, he tries to heal. Like 80% of the time he gets it. Sometimes he's like, whoopsie daisies, and he heals the other team, and you're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
The next time one of the squidges fucking makes me confused, I'm gonna hit my own cupcake, you piece of shit. You fucking fix yourself. It's just that game with that story. I should try and finish that permadeath run, but I was just always so scared of losing my fucking high level characters. I got the fucking trophy of getting a character to 99 on permadeath.
Sick.
Who fucking else?
Sick.
But it was my kobolds. My fucking kobolds.
Your favorite.
Running around fucking just going... But they're so fast, and I'm just like, oh, they're in trouble. Well, I'll just run away.
Yeah.
Who can hit them?
Retreat.
Archers. They're resistant to archers. Who fucking cares? I'm gonna run up to the archers, stab them, extra damage.
Insane. Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Greatest character, any game. Kobolds. Perfect. I even have a fucking t-shirt. I love that stupid game so much.
God.
Pit people. If you're looking for that turn-based game, it's time,
very
man.
accessible, too.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like grid-based as well. It's not just...
It's all based around movement and spacing and making sure that you're planning for what, because I mean there's
in
so
range for your attacks, out of range for their attacks.
and there's so many like dynamic things that happen for their side, because of course you have the advantages that you're gonna strategize, but then you're on the fucking sun, you just take damage every goddamn minute. Or just tentacles just come up from the ground. They're like, do you want to attack the tentacles? Do you want to attack their team? What are you gonna do? It's great. It's a it. There's no game like it. Thank you, 2010s.
All right, we're in it. The last game.
We're in it.
The game.
To win it.
I hate you.
That came out in the 2010s.
My number one game of the decade. It should really come as no surprise. It's Rock Band.
What? 1?
3,
2?
and 4. Arguably.
4. Blitz? Green Day.
Ooh, I liked Green Day.
Beatles.
I like Beatles too. No, obviously, if anybody knows me, or if anybody's been around me, I'm always the guy that always has Rock Band available. I love playing Rock Band. I have a massive library of... Did I say library?
You sure did.
I have a massive library of 800-ish songs. I got the exports from 123 and Green Day, and Rock Band Blitz.
And Beatles, I would assume.
It's not available. You cannot play Beatles songs outside of Rock Band Beatles.
Oh, licensing?
That, and I'm sure it kind of takes away from the effect of it.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say, Beatles Rock Band did have a real split.
And then Green Day, it's like, doesn't fucking cares.
It doesn't matter. Special accommodations for Beatles Rock Band. It's the Fibbage 3 of rock band.
I mean, really, what is there to say? I love music. I love singing. I love playing the drums. I love playing plastic guitar. I'm obviously really good at all of them because I've put in so many hours for all of them, and I don't want to stop. There's, every once in a while I think to myself, maybe I'll really get into another rhythm game, and I'll get, I'll play Amplitude, that's fun. Or I tried out Taiko, the drum game.
Oh, yeah.
Or I've been like eyeing DJ Max Respect, one of those games where it's like it's like a Japanese one where you got the things like it looks like
DDR maybe.
Yeah, and you just put like I don't know, but I just know I'm not going to care about it as much as I care about playing real songs that I like, actual instruments.
Yeah,
I guess
it's
actual
like
drums
simulated.
and actual singing.
It actually is like you're doing it. You're doing the guitar in the way that the guitar was at least kind of intended to be played.
And it's still just a really, really, really good, reliable party game.
Yeah.
Love having people over, singing harmonies, setting up a mic stand. Ooh, so many fond memories. I've played Rock Band with more people than any other game because just wins the opportunity. Sometimes I'll go over to somebody's house and they'll say, hey, you bring over Rock Band? Like, okay, sure. It's just, I don't know. And I feel like I'm always getting better. And that's awesome. That's a great feel. I've been hitting fills that I've never hit before. The transition to the E-Kit was insane. I had a stream where I played Rock Band and sang. It was a whole lot of fun. And it's like that every time. No other game has really brought that much to me. Or no other game have I really put that much into. Obviously, I've invested so much time and money into this, and I don't regret any of it. It's just so much fun. I love music. I love games. I love music games. I love Rock Band. That's really all there is to it.
Me too. And it all comes along with like music discovery too.
Oh my god,
It's incredible about it. Like we could name countless songs that from like Rock Band, just put them in, had some kind of DLC. Fucking Rock Band Network has been valuable to us for discovering stuff that's just so niche. Like I have a top 10 band now that I would not have ever fucking discovered unless one of their songs was in Rock Band Network. Mm-hmm. And that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
It's an incredible series, really.
Yeah, and that's just such an important point to make. That's molded so much of the music that I listen to and the music that I want to play. And yeah, God, it's awesome. Love me some Rock Band. There's really not that much to say. It's my game of the decade. It's probably my game of last decade.
Man, do you remember when I wanted to say Rock Band 2 was better than 3? There's merit, but I mean, you play Roundabout by Yes on keys, and that opinion is invalid, alright?
Dude, you sing harmonies with the boys. You never want to go back.
Harmonies, too. Yeah, no. Rock Band 3
Pro drums?
Pro drums. Pro guitar.
Pro keys.
Eat your fucking heart out, Rocksmith. Fucking pro.
God,
Eat your heart out. Power Gig Rise of the Sixth String.
We should have tried Roundabout on Pro Keys just once, just to see. Like, how does that even chart? That hurts.
I don't want to
fucking think about it. There's a lot of notes. Rick Wakeman. Yeah, no, Rock Band 3 has it all the way.
Yeah, love it. I love it. Everyone loves it. I mean, on my list, I put 3/4 because it honestly doesn't matter to me. It's all Rock Band.
At this point, it really doesn't matter. Once you get the settings fixed on Rock Band 4, who fucking cares? It might as well be the same thing. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I think it's up to you.
What, best game of the decade?
Something like
We're talking about rhythm music games or something? Anyway, Calvin likes the fact that he can, be involved in playing this rhythm music game that makes him better. And I would for 100% agree that, yeah, every time I play Rock Band 4, I get that new personal best. I'm like, I played Hysteria Bass better than Calvin. That's fucking great. But, I like my rhythm music games a little bit more,
cerebral.
Controller based, as they say. My best game of the decade is Thumper.
Wild. I respect it. I respect it a lot.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything. I fucking love it. I mean, now I have the vinyl, and it's just like, shit, dog. I put it on and stress out.
That's a psychological horror vinyl.
I fucking remember those times when I was facing fucking 6 Omega, and all I had to do was get through him perfect, and I just remember that the very, very last leg of his 4-leg journey had this fucking wacky syncopation that my brain was like, no, you can't do that. That's not right. That doesn't sound right. I know what you're seeing, but you're not going to do it. And I'm like, dude, I'm going for the platinum here. Yeah, Thumper, very similar to Amplitude 2016, is one of those games that I'm rated pretty high in the world in. I still have not beaten 9+. I've made it. I fucking made it. Spoilers. I fucking made it to the pyramid, and I haven't made it past this first fucking stage. But I've made it there, and it's the same thing with like Factorio, where it's just like, you gotta get back into it if you're gonna get better.
Yeah.
And it's been so long, and I play it like once every 3 months now, but I fucking understand that I want to get back into it. I want to improve my plus scores. I want to get better. It's like, with Amplitude, 3 to 4 minute songs.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it. Thumper,
10-minute stages.
30 minutes. You gotta play for 30 minutes, and you have to do better than the last time where you played for 30 minutes.
Oh, God.
Maybe I'll just set up the VR. Maybe that'll make me better. Between times, I did play it in VR, and what I did like about VR is that, you're there. You're fucking inside of it.
You're, like, on the track.
And for the record, yeah, you are right there. Like, you can see everything.
Everything feels so much faster.
It does. For the record, Thumper is the only VR game I've ever played. Beat Saber? Fuck off. Super hot VR? Fucking honorable man. Get out of here. But I think the problem was that visibility became hard because you're so close to the track.
That's
now
right.
when you thumb up.
When
you fly, you don't thump up.
You thump down.
You thump up. You fly. You can't see notes when they're too soon.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a lot of thumping. And I remember being like, shit, that came up way too quick because I tried to thump it. Whoopsie daisies. Thumper is psychological horror in the sense that every time you start playing it, that's it for your mood. Your mood is now live, survive, be good, don't fuck this up.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's almost outside of it being a rhythm game, and it's the fact that you're playing along to a song is like coincidental.
Yeah, and like it's something that no other rhythm music game has ever done. That it's completely diegetic. I know I've used that term before, but it's just you don't listen to level 7-23. It just happens because that's the game. And it's the same every time. It will always be the same, but it's the game, and the game communicates with you exactly what's going to happen. And mistakes are on you. It's just you should do this. I've said it. Fucking Gen 8 games, it happens. There's errors. Haha, hit the share button. That's funny, that was stupid. Like in Last of Us 2 when I drowned myself. Whoopsie daisies. Never happened in Thumper. Thumper, they did it. Drew LLC was like, this is it. This is the game. When you turn, it's perfect. When you do this, it's perfect. You're not relying on your Rock Band batteries to be weird or unsynced. The game is always perfectly synced.
Yeah, there's no calibration, which is nuts.
There's no calibration for a game like this. And it's like, maybe in part because it has like Clone Hero type input. Where you're going for perfects, but your window's this much bigger, but it allows the game to run so much faster
Yeah.
that it's like, okay, you have more room for error, but we're not gonna.
That means we can throw more stuff at you.
We're gonna throw you more stuff. We're gonna make sure that you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Don't take advantage of us. 9 Plus will fuck you up. That's what's so great. That for this stupid. This is my favorite game of all time.
Stupid idiot
For
favorite
this-
game.
For this $20 game, you have two completely separate playthroughs. You have your 1 standard through 9 standard. Fine, great, whatever. Then you got fucking +1 through +9. And it's completely different. 1 plus might run the same as 1. After that, the game's like, you know what you're doing. You're on plus. We're going to make it harder now. You got more lane changes. You got more stuff to hit. More thump possibilities. Once you get into plus, they introduce S plus, which is all perfect turns, all thumpables.
Oh my god. All
You
rings.
hit, and you hit every objective, which is circles, which is wings, lines.
Yeah.
S plus. And I remember looking through it, I was like, what's that extra indicator? Like, I've had a few S plus levels, but I mean, even the guy, I can't remember his name, but he has like the number 1 on levels 3+ through 9+. It's one guy. You can see the leaderboards for the world. I think when
Mr.
I was
Thumper.
into Thumper, I think I was 61st in the world.
That's
I think was
high.
the way I remembered it. And it's just, you're playing the plus so well. I'm that high and I haven't even beaten 9+. I have a generalized 9 score because that's as far as I can fucking get. I gotta beat that shit. I want to beat that shit. There's just too many things in this world.
Too many games in this decade.
But you gotta think that somewhere in there, there's room where you could improve on his score, even, because it's possible.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Thumper, you're a beetle. You're riding on a track. Things come at you. It's a metaphor. I'll let you discover that metaphor on your own if you didn't watch our 2018 video. It's just Thumper, man. It blows me away. Number 1 games of all time? Best games of the decade? What does that mean for our games from the fucking aughts, dog?
Fuck, what does it mean, dude? I wonder how it stacks up in terms of the variety of games that I've played and how differently I've digested them. It's impossible to say whether the games that I've played from the 10s have been more impactful than the game that I've played in the aughts, because it's a different time. Obviously.
It would be really interesting to see, though, how they line up. You know, if you put these two lists together. Oh, shit, dog. Top games from the 2000s. I mean, at that point, we're just doing top 40 again. Who's right for top 40? I'm fucking hyped. Let's do it. Let's get right back into that.
I think we gotta workshop some ideas, but I think I'm on board. I think this is a great discussion. I love hearing about the games that you played and the different perspectives that you have on the games that we both played. And
Yeah.
the things that have appeared on your list and the things that didn't appear on mine, or vice versa.
It's great.
I love
It's
it.
great to hear you talk about how much you hate Last of Us.
I didn't
And
say that!
How much I hate Terraria.
Minecraft?
I know you don't hate Last of Us. It's okay. They didn't make that top 10. I'm not mad about it. It's not like every number 2 to number 1 game that I put on every year makes your like 8 or 7.
Oh.
That doesn't happen ever. We're two different people. It's alright.
This is true, and this is why.
In the end, we ended with fucking 2 rhythm games.
That's true.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I do love the parallels. We both had Paladins as an honorable mention.
Yeah, it was my third instead of my first. That was the closest we got, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the only thing we had in common, was it?
Yeah, no, Titanfall 2.
Tip 2. That's right.
Fucking Tit 2, baby. You can't make an FPS better than that. Don't say it. That's for the aughts list, baby.
My God. My goodness. Any closing thoughts?
No, this was fun.
Yeah.
I had fun. I got no jokes to make. I'm just happy that we made this, you know? Chime in the comments. Say your top 10.
Yeah, I'm always interested to hear what other people say.
Yeah.
And what games we missed, or what things we missed out on, games that we have played, stuff like that. And of course, looking forward to next decade.
Yeah.
Who knows
Hell
what
yeah.
games are gonna show up on that
Oh
list?
my God.
Probably another rhythm game. Rock Band 5?
Amplitude 2016 2.
God. Alright. We will see you next time.
Yeah. See ya. Have a good night.
Thanks for joining us.